Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, January 28th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube super chat right here. We got the NFC Championship game with the Detroit Lions #OnePride versus the San Francisco 49ers. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Kickoff is going to be here in about 5 to 10 minutes. So get locked and loaded, and we are ready to go. Let's go, baby. And congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. The Chiefs are back into the Super Bowl again. And even if the Niners end up winning the game, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people thinking that the Chiefs can win it all again, which I wouldn't blame them. Can't wait to be able to see what happens in this game to see if we get the Lions as the underdog or if we end up getting the Niners, as the favorite, winning the game at home, and then we end up getting a Chiefs-Niners rematch in the Super Bowl. And the last time that we saw a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl, the Chiefs ended up winning that Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes. So remember that. Jimmy G wasn't good enough. Is Brock Purdy? We got to find out here tonight in this game before we get into the Super Bowl. Megan in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's go. Lamar choked again, huh? But I don't necessarily think it was all Lamar. I felt like the offensive line was bad, and I felt the play calling was bad. And the defense lost a lot of discipline too. So even though it was only a 7-point win, I mean, there was opportunities in that game, but the Ravens didn't really get into a flow. The Ravens got out-coached. They got out-hustled. They got outworked. They got, out everything, like I said. But the biggest thing to me, it wasn't necessarily all Lamar. To me, it was whoever's offensive line was going to play the best was going to win. Ravens' offensive line got an F. The OC for the Ravens gets an F. I wouldn't give Lamar necessarily an F, you know what I mean? But the O-line and obviously the OC and the lack of the running game. How the hell are you going to be the number one rated team in the NFL in rushing and you give Gus the Bus Edwards one carry in the first half? You deserve to lose if you're going to be that stupid. So, and again, I know a lot of people are annoyed with Taylor Swift, but the reality is, right, regardless if you like Taylor Swift or you hate her, right, and Travis Kelce, if you love him or you hate him, the bottom line is with the New England Patriots and Tom Brady, they started off, obviously, as underdogs and became villains right away, right? Now, there is no Tom Brady. There is no Belichick. There is no, Rob Gronkowski. So now this is the year that you finally realize that the Chiefs are no longer the underdog, and they are no longer the team that everyone roots for. They are the new villain in the NFL, and they will be for the rest of Patrick Mahomes' career. That's what happens when you end up being great and you end up being elite and you end up, going to be a guy that's going to be on Mount Rushmore, with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to join that group. And finding a way to win on the road was awesome to be able to see, at least for the Chiefs fans. For Ravens fans, it shows you, you can beat up on shitty teams like the Bears during the regular season and win by 20, 30, 40, 50, but no one's going to remember that. Legacies and reputations are made in the playoffs, not in the regular season. So even though the Ravens had a great regular season and Lamar might win the MVP in the regular season, no one gives a shit about the MVP in the regular season. You want to be the MVP in the Super Bowl, and the Ravens are going to have to rebuild, and hopefully they can get a better OC and a better offensive line. Otherwise, they're just going to be looking up at Kansas City for the rest of Lamar's career. Big facts. Bang, bang, Niner gang in the building. What's good? Roderick in the building. What's good? Calvin, let's go. $10 holla. Let's go, baby. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Let me know what you want to see for photos. What you got? You want some old school Saints photos? You want some Bama photos? You let me know what you want, and I got you. How is the anime and all the drawing and everything going for you? Hopefully it's going well. But we don't want to act like the Ravens were a terrible team in the regular season. They were the number one team in football. They played the Niners and obliterated them. Those were the two best teams all year, besides a few weeks of Philly, a few weeks of Dallas, and a few other teams that were sprinkled at the top. But for a majority, it was the Ravens and the Niners. But it shows you can still have the best record in the NFL, and you can be great during the regular season, and they can crown you the king of the castle. But the bottom line is there's always going to be that villain or that guy that's sitting there, that Brady, that Mahomes, that David and Goliath story. And you have to be perfect when you go against Andy Reid and Mahomes and Kelsey. And if you're not perfect, you're not going to win. But again, for me, I don't blame Lamar in that game. I blame the offensive line and the OC. That might have been the worst performance I've seen from an offensive coordinator getting outcoached, not running the football when you have the number one rated offense for running the football in the league, and you give Gus the Bus one carry, you deserve to lose. So that's what happens when you get out-coached, out-manned, out-hustled, and out-disciplined. Now, will the Ravens end up getting there again? I hope so. I hope they end up making a Super Bowl at some point in Lamar's career, because we don't want Justin Herbert's career to be wasted. Lamar, Burrow, but like I said, it shows you how difficult it is to get to the AFC Championship game, let alone to the Super Bowl, and let alone win those games. But the bottom line is, whether you love Taylor Swift or you hate her, you love Travis Kelce or you hate him, you love Pat and Andy or you hate them, the bottom line is there is a new villain in town, and it's no longer Tom Brady. It is Patrick Mahomes. And regardless if you want to admit that or not, that's the reality. And they are going to have a spot in the AFC Championship game, barring injuries, right, every single year. Just like the San Francisco 49ers, more than likely, will have an NFC Championship game spot for the next 5 years. It's just going to have to be that other team, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Saints, whoever it may be, right down the road. And on the opposite side, it has to be the Ravens, the Bengals, the Chargers, the Bills. Somebody has to climb the mountain, right? But at this point, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, they're the guys. And, and then now we obviously can see that Pat can win a game on the road. And it's really good for his legacy. Lamar's legacy takes a hit. Patrick Mahomes gets a notch on the belt, for being able to win at home, at Arrowhead, and winning a difficult game on the road. So get those likes up, baby. I don't blame you, bro. But like I said, when you're going against guys like Mahomes and Brady, we have to stop acting like they're not good. They're not legends. I mean, we're talking about those two guys are going to be known as two of the best that have ever put on cleats, right? And the thing is, when it's all said and done, how many rings is Mahomes going to have? Is he going to catch Brady? Most likely not. But is it really crazy to think that Mahomes won't end his career with 4, 5, maybe 6 titles? There is an opportunity there depending on how long Kelsey stays, Andy Reid is there, and the rest of the defense and Chris Jones. Things can change very quickly. Look at the Eagles, a Super Bowl team, 10-1 this year, and then dog shit in the last 2 months. So, but if you have an organization that's built the right way, like the Niners and the Chiefs, they're going to be here for many, many years. Like, I don't see the Chiefs or the Niners falling off the face of the earth ever. Like, they're going to be a top 5, top 6 team in the AFC, NFC for like the rest of the way, unless some serious injuries happen. So, congratulations to Chief Chief and Odin's son and Cyberpunk. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, she's still a little stiff out there. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool to be able to see her. I mean, she's molded Jade Cargill like an actual Roman statue. Like, if you were gonna watch like the movie 300, right? You would assume that you would see like Jade Cargill, with a spear in her hand and just chiseled, like a Roman goddess, right? But as far as skill set in the ring, before they have Bianca and her one-on-one or a tag team together, she definitely needs a little bit more work. I would agree. But it was cool to see her there, and Naomi as well. If we would have got Sasha Banks, I probably would have jumped through my TV, but, and I knew we weren't going to get MJF, so. All right, Dalahala. I appreciate you, Calvin. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. What would you give Royal Rumble last night if you watched the whole thing? We did a live stream here last night, and, most of us thought it was pretty damn good. Less matches. The Logan Paul, Kevin Owens ending was kind of fucked. But I'm really more upset about the length of time. I thought the match could have been a little bit longer, but everything else was on point. So, $15. Let's get to a hundo. Yeah. Well, someone's got to win besides me, bro. I don't want to be that default team that's pretending to that we can hang with all the other teams in the NFL. And then now, since Baker did good and you guys are ass and booty cheeks, and you guys didn't win the NFC South the last 2 years, now you guys are costing me my future quarterback. And now I'm going to be stuck with fucking Baker for the next 5 years. And I'm probably not going to draft one this year or next year where I could actually get a franchise changing quarterback, possibly. But I know the Saints will be looking at one in the next couple of years. The Falcons will be looking at one. Hopefully, the Bucks will be looking at one this year or next year. But for at least the time being, Baker is going to be the guy. Which I think Baker's good enough to make the playoffs, but Baker's not good enough to win the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. So, and again, a lot of my guys are getting older, and I need to bring back Mike Evans. That's a priority. Antoine Winfield Jr. needs to get the franchise tag, and we need to re-sign him as well. So we'll see where it goes. I did enjoy the Royal Rumble last night. Yeah. There were some fuck ups in the women's rumble and whatnot, and then obviously the KO Logan Paul match could have been longer. But congratulations, bro! Congratulations, and now you have to take the role, Odin, that you guys are the villain, and it's not just being the villain because of Taylor Swift and everyone's annoyed by Taylor Swift on the TV. You're going to be known as the villain because you're going to be that damn good, and now the transformation has completed. You went from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. You are going to be the most hated team in the NFL because of how great you guys are. And regardless of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce break up, the villain is going to be where you guys are going to be at. And I think you guys are going to embrace that role, just like Tom Brady, Gronk, and Bill Belichick did. Once they got that role of being the villain, how everyone hated them because how goddamn good they were every single year. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs end up winning the Super Bowl again. It'll be very interesting. Obviously, if it ends up being Chiefs and Lions, Chiefs 100%. But if it ends up being Chiefs and Niners, it probably is 50-50, but maybe a slight edge for the Chiefs, 60-40, just because, you trust Mahomes a little bit more than Brock Purdy. Well, if you want a Super Bowl and you're a Chief fan, you're rooting for the Lions. Obviously, if you play the Niners, you could lose. But again, it all depends on quarterback play. And we know the Lions don't have a defense. Ravens, Niners, Chiefs all have top 5 defenses. The Lions, do they even have a D? We'll find out today. Let's go. Let's go, baby. NFC football, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm telling you, hybrid. You can't count the chickens before they hatch. You get all these media people and all the fans and everyone going against the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. And even the Taylor Swift hate couldn't get you a dub. So, again, we want to be able to see someone new. We want to be able to see someone other than the same Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, unless you're like Odin, Cyberpunk, or Chief Will Chief as a Chief fan. But again, you have to play a crisp, clean game, and you can't have mistakes. And that was nowhere near being perfect today. That was actually, honestly, not to be a hater, but that was one of the worst performances I've seen in the AFC Championship game, considering that Lamar is supposed to be the NFL MVP. I have never seen an OC shit the bed like that, as well as having the number one ranked running game, with Lamar and Gus the Bus and Justice Hill, and you had one rush in the first half with Gus the Bus. I mean, how do you explain that? You got out coached, you got outworked, you got outmanned, you got out hustled, and then you only lost by 7 with all the fuck ups that you had. So it shows you how close you really were. But even though you lost by 7, in reality, it felt like you lost by 27. At least it did in my book. All right, here we go. Calvin, let me know what you want to do for photos. Little check down. Laporta, baby. And all the teams have a top tight end, and that was the game where you needed to be able to see touchdown Lions. You need to be able to see, the tight end step up. And obviously not having Mark Andrews healthy was finally the first game where the Ravens got exposed, where they needed someone other than Zay to step up and throw to, and they didn't have Mark Andrews. So Look at the Lions, baby. Extra point is up, and it's good. Look at this. Look at the speed. Look at the speed, baby. J-Mo. Wow. Touchdown, Lions. I don't know if anyone anticipated that. Woo! Let's go. Let's go, Lions. Yeah. And it wasn't even off a deep ball. It was off the reverse. How awesome is that? Wow, look at Ragnow in space. Well, I don't think anyone on planet Earth saw that coming. Even Lions fans didn't see that coming. All right, we're going to have to go through a throwback photo for that. Oh, J-Mo. And that's what happens when you pick speed, because speed kills. You can't teach speed. And they got Jahmyr Gibbs and they got J-Mo. And everyone thought Dan Campbell was an idiot, huh? Don't look too stupid now. Nice job. 7-0 Lions. Unbelievable. Shh. All right, bang, bang, Niner gang, your turn. That was sweet, dude. Yes, I'll get you some Alabama Jameson. Wow, that was awesome. But obviously still early, still early. The chances of the Lions actually winning this game is not very good. But again, we'll see what happens. But obviously starting off like that, I mean, that's exactly what you want, to give yourself a chance and have confidence. But it's the first time that, you've had, 3 teams that have top 5 defenses, then you got a team that doesn't have one. So, for the Lions to beat a team that's got a defense would be amazing. I don't know if I've ever seen a team in the AFC or NFC championship game that didn't have a D actually win. But again, if you got game breakers on offense and you can get your defense to play above average, not great, but just play better than expected, yeah, you'll have a chance. But also remember, with Ben Johnson, if he ends up going to the Seahawks, the personnel is not the same. You guys don't have the same type of running backs and the same type of style, that the Lions players have. You got DK and you got Tyler Lockett, right? And they're good receivers, but they're not as good as Amon Ra. And they got Sam Laporta. You don't have a tight end. So you do got, Charbonnet, and you got Kenneth Walker the third, but they're not Montgomery and Gibbs. So, it's different. So obviously Johnson could help, but you still don't have the same type of weapons that the Lions have. And their offensive line is much better than yours too. But it would help the Hawks quite a bit if they could score a Slowick or a Johnson for sure. Because you can't expect the same results on a different type of team that's run differently. If the Hawks can build up that O-line and that defense, that's really going to suit them well. Let's go, baby. 7-0 Lions. All right, Niners, your turn. What a great, great pull right here by Ragnow. Unbelievable. And if Ragnow doesn't get out there, that doesn't go for the distance. Nice little stiff arm there by J-Mo, but it shows you if you end up having great offensive line, which they got Penei Sewell from the Oregon and Ragnow who can pull from center, that's a huge, huge thing. And that's hopefully what Seattle will be looking at, and other teams that need to improve on that O-line. The better the O-line you have, the better that you're going to be. I mean, look at the Ravens. The offensive line didn't do anything, and you got obliterated, even though you lost by 7. It felt like 17 or 27. So as long as you beef up that O-line, that's going to open up everything, not only for the quarterback, the running back, the wide receivers, the tight ends, everybody. 15. Let's get to a hundo. CD. Yeah, they've been going back and forth. Obviously, CD, jabbing back at Baker. CD will talk to anyone that he wants to talk to. It just depends if you're going to respond or not. Lions got like 8. Yeah, yeah, they got a bunch of Saints players. Yeah, yeah. Allen got to go. You got, Carmichael's already gone, but you got to blow that shit up. To be honest, I'm sick of the Buccaneers going to the playoffs when we're shitty. Why can't you guys just take the fucking title? Why can't you guys just go and get your ass kicked in the playoffs? I don't want to go. I want to get draft picks to get better. I don't want to be sitting around 9-8 and make the playoffs. Can't you guys just take the crown already? I don't want to go 4 years in a row. The first 2 years, fine, but the last 2 years should have been the Saints, not the Buccaneers. Hurry up and fire everybody and get a better team so that way I can not be in the playoffs and I can build my team for a few years. And then when I do get to the playoffs, I can be legit. 3rd and 9. Purdy. First down, Niners. Move the chains. Let's get to 20. Shotgun set. Purdy. Floater. Is it picked? Oh. Wow. Should have been a pick there. Well, of course, they're taking on the identity of their head coach. I mean, hell, it's like if you're going to buy into a coach like that, all you need to do is to get your defense to play better, than advertised, And like I said, you got Aiden Hutchinson, but then who else? You got Branch, you got Campbell, but like I said, your defense is nowhere near where it needs to be to win a Super Bowl. But here we are in the NFC Championship game with a team that doesn't really have a D, but that will play like they have one at times. Purdy took a big shot. First down, Niners, move the chains. I mean, can you imagine once the Lions have a good O-line, not a good O-line, a good offense and a good defense? Like if they had a top 10 defense and a top 5 offense, or even top 10, that's when we're going to be talking about the Lions winning a Super Bowl, but they're just not there yet. But sometimes you can end up arriving a year early or 2 years early. Halfback toss. It's like the Niners. Like, can you imagine having Christian McCaffrey and giving him 1 carry in the first half? The Niners aren't going to do that. They're not stupid. How's your drawing and your anime stuff coming along, Calvin? Time for some peanut M&Ms. Uh-oh, Barnes. Good. I'm proud of you, man. Anyone that tries to do something that even if it's difficult, like I said, we all have dreams and we all have goals, but a lot of people they just don't act on them. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of what could be. But again, it's sometimes if you have a talent and you have that confidence, you just have to keep going, no matter how hard things get. You know what I mean? Everyone's got a lane. Everyone's got something that they're great at doing. Right? You just have to be able to recognize whatever that greatness is, whatever comes easiest for you, where you can make a career out of it or make money off of it, or whatever that talent is that comes the easiest. That's when that's your lane. And I hope everything ends up working out for you, man. Much love. Keep going. Keep grinding, man. And when things get tough, George Kittle will get the rock. And when we end up getting Shep in the building, make sure you guys give him a warm welcome. He's gone through a couple deaths with friends and family and things that have happened. That's why he hasn't been on the channel in a bit. So make sure you guys open him with nice welcome arms when he comes through. Anthony in the building. Raiders in the building. What's good? Alliance player. 3rd and 3. Run CMC, baby. McCaffrey. First down. Niners. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Move the chains. Paisley's like, Dad, you're working 2 games? We'll go on a long walk when I'm done. I love you. Let's get those likes up. Let's get the likes to 20 if we can. Shout out to all the people on Twitter/X that are watching. We'll get some more photos up for Calvin Griffin, my boy. Appreciate you. Purdy, halfback toss. There we go, Lions. Good defense there by Detroit. 7 more likes to 20. Let's get there. And it shows you how important coaching really is. Anyone that wants to shit on Lamar didn't necessarily watch that game. And like I said, if you want to put the blame on that last game, you blame it the OC and the O line. You had better play calls, than Justice Hill on 3rd and 4 when you need a fucking first down. And obviously the offensive line getting fucking obliterated. You can't win a game if you get obliterated like that. It's always going to be O line, D line, defense, coaching, play calling. It doesn't matter quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. People think that those are the only things that matter, but it really doesn't. It all depends on the line of scrimmage, and that allows the quarterback, running back, wide receivers, and tight ends either to do something or to do nothing. Oh yeah, Lions have been very good with their draft, and it's funny too because everyone made fun of them. I loved it as soon as I heard that they got Campbell from Iowa, Sarah's team, Gibbs and James. I was like, oh, I like this, and I felt like Dan Campbell. They were slowly, building something really special. And in fantasy, I got David Montgomery, Amon Ross, Sam Laporta. If I didn't believe in this Lions team, why the hell would I have 3 of them on my team? So, sometimes you can see, the light at the end of the tunnel before everyone else. I don't need to have everyone else tell me this team is good. Sometimes you got to be able to look at a team and the way that they're built and look at the schedule and like who could be ahead of the curve, who could be like a year or 2 early, who could go further in the playoffs than anybody thinks. And that team was Detroit for me this year. I wouldn't have taken a field goal. If Moody can't make field goals late in the year, why the hell would you have him go for a field goal that's almost 50 yards? Right? That's a stupid. You might as well just keep going for it with Brock Purdy. 7-0 Lions. For real, though. But there's been a lot of shitty kicking this year. I think there's been more shitty kicking this year than in the past few years. Big facts. Lions in the Super Bowl would be good, but I don't know if we're going to get them this year. We'll find out. And I don't think the Lions would have any chance against the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like I said, at some point, the Cinderella story is going to end. And normally, you can win some games with offense, but again, defense wins games, defense wins championships, and Detroit doesn't really have a defense. So if Detroit ends up going to the Super Bowl, or if they were able to win it all, it'd be the first time ever that we've seen a team that doesn't have a D to win it all. So it's been a long time. All right, Detroit, your turn. All right, get the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. That would be the number one priority. And Gibbs. Is he? Is old boy even in the league anymore? I mean, the guy can't even play anymore. He can't even stay healthy. The last time he was relevant was with Drew Brees, and like I said, getting Olave and these other guys. I mean, you're never going to see him play good football ever again. His career is over. I think we all saw the writing on the wall after the Brees year and then him getting injured that you were never going to see that Michael Thomas ever again. Unfortunate, but it's just, at least you got Olave, another Ohio State guy, to take over. But I told people that years ago. I was like, Drew Brees and Michael Thomas is not going to be the same as Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas. If you think you're going to get the same 100 to 120 catches and 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, it ain't fucking happening. Drew Brees is a fucking football god. Jameis Winston, yeah. First down and 10, Goff, and the Goff fence. There we go. And a good benefit for the Lions, even though they're an underdog, right? They actually have an offensive line, not like the Ravens. So you don't have to worry. I mean, Goff will get fucked up a couple times in this game, just like Purdy. It wouldn't surprise me if either one threw a pick or if they got sacked a couple times each. But, Penei Sewell is one of the best, in the game. And Ragnow at center is one of the best in the game. So they don't have as good of an offensive line as maybe the Cowboys in Zeke's rookie year, where they had 3, but they got 2 solid guys out of 5. And that's a lot more than most teams in the NFL nowadays. For real, though. Get Gibbs the ball, baby. Get Gibbs the ball, baby. He is the most electric running back in the NFL to me. You know what I mean? He's got the size, he's got the power, he's got the shiftiness, and he's kind of a smaller back like Pacheco. But that's kind of what we're starting to see in the NFL. You don't have to be a Derrick Henry. You actually can get more plays based off speed than power nowadays. Gibbs is to me, like I said, even at the beginning of the year, he has been the most electric running back, in the NFL, to me this season. And then obviously this duo is the best duo in football, the Thunder and the Lightning. And obviously the Bears haven't recovered since they got rid of Montgomery. You got a ground and pound guy, a guy on the goal line, or you got a guy that can get you yards from the 20 to the 20. Or if you want to flip it up and just give Gibbs a look on the goal line, you think he can't get in? Of course he can. He's got that speed to the sideline. He's dangerous. It was one of the best picks Detroit has had in their history. I mean, Barry Sanders and Megatron are up there, but Gibbs, that is the difference. And if you don't have Gibbs, you're probably not seeing the Detroit Lions at this position today. Gibbs was a big reason why they got to this point. And like I said, you have to have a lead early. Like I said even a couple days ago, if the Lions can get a 10-0 lead, that might be enough for them to be able to get the upset. It's not going to be enough to win the game by itself, but just the mentality of, hey, we're going to punch you in the mouth. We know we don't have a defense. We know we're an underdog, but we're just going to come in and play loose. No pressure. The pressure is on you, Brock Purdy, not us. And if you can get off to an early lead, sometimes that'll add to some extra momentum, as we go into the second quarter and the second half. Good tackle. And you want to make sure you're creative with your play calling, with like you did with JMO, either, bubble screens, reverses, jet sweeps. You've got guys that have the speed, especially with JMO and Gibbs. Make sure you're using them. There's going to be a time and a place to pound the rock and try to run over them with David Montgomery. And David Montgomery can go head to head with Chase and Bosa. He ain't scared. He can run them over, right? It's just a matter of making sure that you're also getting Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta the ball as well. So that way the offense is clicking on all cylinders. 3rd down and 9. Amon-Ra with blockers downfield. 1st down, Lions. Let's go. One of the best wide receivers in the game, Amon-Ra St. Brown, baby. I had him in fantasy after Jay Jetta. I picked him 2nd in my draft, and it benefited me all year. Top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, Amon-Ra St. Brown. NFC football is a little different than AFC football. I'm not saying AFC football is boring, but I definitely prefer NFC football any day. I guess it just depends on the type of football that you like to watch. I mean, unless you're a Chief fan, then you're just going to love it, because you got Mahomes and you got Reed and Kelsey and L'Jarius Sneed and Chris Jones. But other than that, if you're not a Chief fan, I think a lot of AFC people like NFC football a little bit more. I mean, unless we have a healthy Josh Allen, a healthy Burrow, a healthy Herbert, and you get healthy other, guys. But the style of AFC football and NFC football is so different. NFC's got more well-rounded teams most of the time, but obviously this season you got the Chiefs and the Ravens with good offenses and defenses. Look at that speed on the edge. Gibbs and Jameson need to race for real. And also, too, if you look at Gibbs, it's about angles. If you watch him, he has patience. He's got good burst, but then his speed, he'll even do a little stutter step like he did right there. So he did one initial stutter step. Then he gave you another one as he was on the sideline. And when he stutter steps, he doesn't slow down. I don't think I've seen too many running backs that are that fast, full speed, stutter step, go down a couple miles per hour, and then ramp it right back up with no hesitation. That's why Gibbs is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Touchdown, Lions. We getting a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl? But I said this was the only way the Lions were going to win this game is if they came in here, punched him in the mouth, and ended up winning. And if the Lions do win, it'll be the first time that we've had 2 road teams win in a while. Nice job, Detroit. Montgomery ain't afraid, baby. I drafted him in fantasy. You already know. Great start for the Lions. Telling you, they have the best running back combo in the league. There's no one even close. Thunder and lightning. Nice job. 14-0, almost playing out like I thought it could. I thought, the way the Lions could win is if they get up 10-0. Hell, they even surpassed my prediction. 14-0. There we go. Lions fans are loving it. I mean, Penei Sewell and Ragnow are ridiculous, dude. Like, I don't think people really realize until they watch games like this and realize, oh my God, maybe the Lions don't have a defense, but goddamn, their offense is money. And they have just as much weapons as the Niners. Sometimes the weapons on the Lions are even better than the Niner weapons. McCaffrey's great, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. But if you actually look at the way the teams have been playing lately, I think most people would rather have Gibbs, would rather have Montgomery. I mean, obviously CMC is great, but I'm saying if you had a 2-for-1, what would you rather have, McCaffrey or Gibbs and Montgomery? I would rather have Gibbs and Montgomery, right? And then you got Amon-Ra. He's better than any wide receiver on the Niners. And then you got Laporta, who should have been probably rookie of the year. I know CJ Stroud obviously is probably going to get it, but if you actually look at fantasy and stats, Laporta was like the number 1 tight end. So he got kind of snubbed. He had some snubbery. And you could say Laporta and Kittle, obviously they're both 2 of the top 4 tight ends in the league, with Kelsey and Andrews when they're all healthy. But if you really look at the weapons, you could argue besides Christian McCaffrey, all the advantages are on the Lions. Offensive line, obviously, with Trent Williams, and the Niner offensive line is obviously going to be good. You know what I mean? And Purdy and Goff are going to be known for mistakes from time to time. But the weapons are a little bit more swaggier and a little bit more hungry, I feel, on the Lions side. So, and then Goff over Purdy. Wow. That's what happens when you have the best duo running back in the NFL. It's like the only duo running back that where they both could get 100 and they both could score twice. Name any other combo in the NFL where they have 2 running backs that legit could get 100 yards, both of them, right, running, receiving, and could score twice each. They're the only ones, and they're showing it today. And again, offensive line, defensive line. Whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win the game. And the Detroit Lions are trying to shock the world. And again, it would even be more impressive if they beat the Niners because, again, they don't really have a defense. They got Aiden Hutchinson. They got Branch, that's a rookie. Campbell, that's a rookie. You got CJ Gardner-Johnson that loves to talk shit. But if you're really looking at the depth of the players, they don't really have a full defense yet. And it's scary that they're this good this early. So this will be the first year in the Dan Campbell era of probably 5 years where they're going to have probably 2 chances to make the Super Bowl, and they got to make sure they maximize every opportunity that they have. All right, here's a question for you. Calvin. If there is a pick 6, who gets it? Who is the player that gets it? Are you just going to go with the CJ Gardner-Johnson, or are you going to go someone else? Kyle Shanahan has to be smarter and realize if your kicker sucks, why are you going for a 50-yard field goal or 48 or 49? If you don't trust them, keep going. I know it's not going to work out every time, but missing a field goal is demoralizing. There we go, Debo. My guy. I was waiting for you to say that. How many more likes to get to 20? Let's get there. Shout out to Calvin. What are we at? 15? 85 to go. Purdy. Little play action bootleg. Pressure. Nice. Use check. First down, Niners. You see, and I know a lot of y'all don't like Brock Purdy. A lot of them, think that he's not good, he sucks. But the one thing is like you may not like him, and he may not play like a top 10 quarterback all the time. But I think there's one thing that we can come to an agreement is that he's better than Jimmy G, right? And he's better than Colin Kaepernick. He makes throws that those guys can't, and it's not like he's going to make like an amazing throw, multiple times in the game, but again, usually there'll be like one or two like threading the needle throws. You're like, how the hell did he get that in there? And, Colin Kaepernick won't be able to make that throw. Jimmy, as sure as hell, can't make that throw. I actually think Kaepernick was better than Jimmy. Kaepernick actually had some skill set. You know what I mean? With Jimmy, your looks, and that was it. So, a turnover machine. And Brock Purdy still can commit turnovers, but he should. He's Mr. Irrelevant. He got picked in the fucking 7th round. Stop acting like Brock Purdy was the top pick in the draft, 1st round, 5th overall. He wasn't. Some of y'all will be like treating him like he's a 1st round pick and he's like this bust and it's like a dud. Motherfucker is like the last guy picked. I mean, what do you expect from the guy? And he's actually exceeded the expectation for being the last guy picked in the draft. And again, they have a lot of supporting cast and a good coach and a defense. They got everything there. But the Niners can literally implement anyone at quarterback or running back on the team and be successful. They've shown that in the past. But for them to be able to win the Super Bowl, they need to get someone closer to Steve Young, Joe Montana at quarterback. And that has been their bugaboo. They haven't had that quarterback that's good enough. Maybe if they would have gotten Tom Brady, maybe that would have been good enough. First down, Niners. Move the chains. They need to get McCaffrey in the end zone. End of the first quarter, the best first quarter you could have imagined. I was thinking 10-0 Lions. Hell, 14-0 Lions. Amazing, huh? Crazy. Football is great, man. Football is great. I mean, what would be the most insane story? Lions win this game. They play the Chiefs and they win it all. And then the Chiefs are like, we want the Lions because we have the best chance to beat them. But then what happens if they beat you? And then all of a sudden the Lions are the champions with no defense. That would be scary to think that the Lions could be Super Bowl champs with no D. And then all of a sudden they're going to be up there again and again and again. And he is turnover prone at times, but also I don't think he gets enough credit. There's going to be games that he'll help the team win. He's not just a game manager. He's better than that. But again, your legacy is going to be made not during the regular season, and you're going to be known for what you do in the postseason, just like Lamar. So, Matt in the building, what's good? Wade in the building, what's good? Alert is back. That's a good show. You guys watch that? Alert, Missing Persons Unit on Fox. It's good. It's got that one dude that was in Gone in 60 Seconds. He's like one of the cops in the show. Amazing start for the Lions. Shout out to them. Hashtag One Pride. Lots of pressure here on the Niners. But one thing is for sure, this game will be more entertaining than the first one. Obviously these defenses, obviously the Niners supposedly have a good defense. Not so good today. And then obviously with the Lions, they're playing great. Kittle and Aiden Hutchinson going at it. All right, second quarter. That was a fast first quarter. Fantastic job. You couldn't have scripted a better start for the Lions besides a 10-0 start. Hell, 14. Run CMC, baby. Best running back in the league. Touchdown, Niners. You already knew it was coming. Niners are not the Ravens. They're going to get in the end zone. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Hybrid, it's tough. But again, like I said, it's like, you can't buy into the media hype and, the poster on the Super Bowl and counting your chickens before they hatch. I feel like a lot of the people did that, and again, you have to start realizing that Patrick Mahomes is Tom Brady. And now we realize that. If Lamar was able to win today, right, then maybe we're not saying that. But since that, that got it, they got the job done, then, things need to change. Fire the OC, get a brand new offensive line, and find a defense that's more disciplined. And even if you do all those things, it still might not be good enough to beat the Chiefs. Nice touchdown by Christian McCaffrey, keeping this a good game. And we already know the Niners have one of the best O-lines and D-lines in the league, so they're going to be in this game as well. Extra point is up, and it's good. 14-7, bang, bang, Niner gang. There we go. We got a good game. Keep us interested the whole way through. All right, Lions, your turn. Nice, recovery there by the Bang Bang Niner gang. Obviously, probably got stunned a little bit, but when you end up having a good coach and a good squad, maybe the worst position on the team is probably Brock Purdy, and even Brock Purdy has played like a top 10 quarterback, but still doesn't get any love. So again, once they can figure out if Purdy is the guy or if they have to get something better, but ultimately the closer that they get of someone that's Steve Young or Joe Montana, they're going to win it all. But if you keep settling for Kaepernick, you keep settling for Jimmy G, even maybe a Brock Purdy, it might not be good enough. You might be good enough to get to the Super Bowl, but not good enough to win it. And that's the big key for them. Big facts. All right, Lions, your turn, baby. 15, let's get to a hundo. Anything else that you want to be able to you want to see, Calvin, based off your two donos? Let me know. And make sure you're taking care of your mental health. It's very, very important. You only got one, baby. Yeah, and then the tough thing about the Ravens loss also too, it's Lamar's legacy. Even though it wasn't all Lamar's fault, but Lamar is the quarterback, so he's going to get a ton of that blame, based on how he played. But if you actually watch the game, it wasn't really Lamar's fault altogether. I mean, again, lack of running game, OC was terrible, O line was terrible, and you can't expect your O line to play like shit and your play caller to do shitty play calls, and then Lamar is going to bail you out, or that defense is going to bail you out. And they might have done that earlier in the year where the O-line didn't play good and the OC was dog shit, but they still found a way to get some pick sixes and fumbles and punch outs, and Lamar was still able to get it done. But it shows you balance in football is everything. And once a team gets you out of your comfort zone, and then you're a number one ranked running team, and then you don't run the ball, you're just playing into the hands of the other team. So hopefully that they make the proper adjustments in the future, because I would like to see Lamar win a Super Bowl and get to a Super Bowl. But again, with the way that team is structured right now, they got a long ways to go. All right, let's go, baby. So many good weapons on the team. Goff, I've always liked him, like Kirk Cousins. You know, he got shit on by the Rams and everything, but I always thought he was a top 12, top 13 quarterback. Just had to find the right team. Now you got the best duo at running back with Gibbs and Montgomery. You got a top 5 receiver in Amon-Ra, and you got Sam Laporta, and you got 2 great offensive line. I mean, this team is going to be built for long-term success, and they got the right coach. They just need to beef up the defense. And if they do that, this team is going to be scary. Wow, look at that spin move. Like, imagine if the Lions had the Niners D. Like, I don't even know how you would beat them. Like, how do you even beat a team like the Lions if they actually have a top 5 or top 10 D on top of this top 5 offense? It's like impossible. All you have to pray for injuries at that point to slow them down a little bit. But again, best duo at running back, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and it ain't even close, baby. Hell yeah. Oh, trick play, trick play, trick play, trick play. Oh, that was a middle school flea flicker. No, to rile it up, you know what I mean? To be able to try to get in their heads and whatnot. You know, the teams are going to do that, you know, regardless if it's, you know, the kicker or the quarterback, you know, they're going to be chippy. Fan bases have been chippy, you know, for a while. What happened to my hands? Awesome. That'll give us some good luck for the game here tonight in about an hour and a half where the Kraken are going to get the dub. And remind me, too, I'll turn it on so we can watch it at the same time together. He said, first down. Little trips left. Shotgun set. Goff. Amon-Ra is special, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of wide receivers that are out there. And again, I think Garrett Wilson was the one that hurt the most out of all the wide receivers because I think that either whether you like Aaron Rodgers or you hate him, I think that they would have had a pretty good connection if Rodgers was able to stay healthy the whole year. If he was able to stay healthy the whole year, Garrett Wilson probably would have been a top 5 to top 7 receiver this season, maybe even higher. But Amon-Ra, he is special. I mean, he's going to go down, you know, in modern day history as the best USC wide receiver that they've had in a long time. Keyshawn went number 1, you know, but Keyshawn was just kind of a possession receiver. He wasn't Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they've had other guys, you know, over the years too through USC that were pretty good, but not superstar good. And no one can take that away. Perfect fit for this Detroit Lion team. And awesome to be able to see USC develop, you know, a position that maybe hadn't had a superstar player like that. Great to see Amon-Ra take his game to the next level, game in, game out, and he's only getting to the cusp. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for Nick Bosa sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. It's 12 noon, baby. Yeah. You can't have Penny Sewell get 2 guys. Penny Sewell supposed to get Bosa and Greenlaw. Third and 15 for Jared Goff in the offense. Shotgun set. Third and 15, only bringing 3. Oh, big hit. Greenlaw popped Laporta. It looks like Greenlaw took the end of it. Normally, Greenlaw is giving out the punishment, but he took the punishment there. Oh, shit. That's the type of hit where Laporta gets hurt and doesn't come back to the game. Oh, Greenlaw is going to feel that shit in the morning because Greenlaw is kind of dirty. You know what I mean? Like I've watched the Niners, and I've watched Vontae's Perfect, and I've watched all these different linebackers over the years, and I know which ones are dirty and which ones aren't. And Greenlaw is a dirty player. You know what I mean? I mean, like there's a lot of Niner fans out there, but I mean, if you're a Niner fan, you should be comfortable in your own skin, realizing that he is a dirty player. Yeah, he's the only dirty player they have on the roster, but he is. He definitely tries to hit late and injure guys. And a lot of times I don't want to say he gets away with it. Sometimes he gets away with it. Sometimes he doesn't, and he does get penalized. But he always tries to act innocent, and we know that motherfucker is guilty. Good game so far. Much better than the other one, at least as far as up and down. And also the defenses are better with the Ravens and the Chiefs, so we already knew it was going to be low scoring. Ooh, baby. Sam Laporta. I mean, all these guys coming from Iowa. All right, Niners, your turn. Let me see. Let me see this photo. Ooh. Wow, a nice signature on it too. I like. Are you gonna get a case for it? Got to get one of those like rotating cases that has like a light, so you can like place it up there and it goes in a circle and it's got like lights on it and stuff. That's cool. I'll put it on the screen. Hold on. Let me send it to Sarah. I like. That's gonna help us get the win today. That's a good luck charm for today. I like. Oh, Kraken, let's go. Let's release it. Seattle, Kraken, open, close, with the fucking Anka. All right. Fucking Bowie loves it, and I love it. Awesome. Congrats on that. Very cool. Keep it in the bag. Nice. Shotgun set. Purdy. And he's a big part of that team. If you act like Dre Greenlaw isn't one of the best players on that defense, you haven't been watching Niner football for the last few years. Big contributor to that D. Little jet sweep with Debo. Wow. First down, Niners. That should have been a loss, but Debo is slippery. And then they also were saying that they couldn't win without Debo, which is inaccurate. Obviously, if Debo is playing, it gives him a better chance to win. But it's not like Debo is like Jerry Rice out there, where it's like if he's not out there, they have no chance of winning. I mean, look at the supporting cast. And Debo is good, but he's not as good as like Amon Ra. Like Debo, can be like a top 15, top 20 wide receiver, but I can think of probably about 10 guys that I would want over Debo. Now, if Debo's running the football and receiving like he was before Christian McCaffrey, then it's a different thing. But if he's just a receiver and doing like jet sweeps and reverses and whatnot, Debo's good, but I could still think of maybe 5 or 10 guys that I would want over him. Daytona 500, baby. February 18th. Can't wait. I would like to be able to do some NASCAR and some baseball. Well, obviously, we're doing baseball this year, and I would like to do a few races for NASCAR, but it just depends on the fans and if we can get support and we can hit the dono goal. But the only thing that's going to scale back for us is probably the NBA until the playoffs. But I'd rather do NHL over the NBA any day. Purdy, incomplete, intercepted. Well, you got to put in the work. You know what I mean? If you want to be able to, have the knowledge and whatnot, you have to read, you have to watch games, you have to be invested. And the thing is like I'm not just invested in the Oregon Ducks. I'm invested in a lot of the teams. All 32 NFL teams. Nice pick. There's many, many factors that are involved, and the more that you are able to read and watch film, the smarter that you're going to be. Flag on the play. And it's more than just about route running, and wide receivers and tight ends. You need to open up, the knowledge overall. I feel your college football knowledge is better than most people in the room. I feel that you and me and Sarah and a few others could have like, the conversations and whatnot. But again, if it comes down to like recruiting and above and beyond stuff, yeah, you're leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. On that end, like you and me can have a conversation about that. But again, how many people are into a college team as much as that to be able to know who's coming in, who's transferring, the depth chart? There's not very many people like we're already hardcore Ducks, but then you go even higher when you get into that type of stuff. Like when people get into the recruiting level of it, and then in the off season, that ends up being like only 1% of hardcore fans. So you are in the 1% as far as like Duck fans are concerned. I think your knowledge is much better than you think. But again, if you don't know a lot of stats or analytics, that's why people come here, and I'll give it to you. You know, or someone else in the room will give it to you if you trust them, if you believe them that they're putting in the work and they're reading and watching the film. But I don't watch other shows. I don't watch Sports Center. I don't watch Skip and Shannon and all those other shows from the past. Wake up, get up, turn off the TV. None of those. Good defense. I want to be able to make my own evaluations, and I don't want to hear anything from Skip or Stephen A. or any other dumbass. I got to be able to make up my own opinions, not just be some fucking character on TV, that doesn't even care about sports. It just likes to come up with opinions that are wrong so that you could argue with them. What's the point? Fake people watching other fake people coming up with a bunch of fake takes that they don't even believe in so they can argue and try to get ratings. Stupid. You're not making anyone smarter. You're making the American public dumber by doing that. But I guess that's how it goes. People would rather be dumb and get misinformed than actually know the truth. Laporta, first down, Lions. And we'll have to see, how many interceptions Purdy and Goff have. Purdy had that one. Goff is going to be due for one probably in the second half. But as long as the quarterbacks don't get like 3 or more, that's when, things are going to get really detrimental. If you get 1 or 2, it all depends if they score off the turnover and whatnot. But this game has been dominated by the Detroit Lions from the very get-go. Good for them. And like I said, these are two teams that I loved watching when I was a kid. So I'm kind of on cloud 9 right now. I knew the Bucks were pretenders, but now the Lions are finally good, so that makes my heart really happy. And then I grew up watching, Montana and Rice, so I'm always going to end up, having a little love for the Niners. And if honestly, if I wasn't a Buck fan, I would have been a Niner fan. But they just didn't have the defense, and I didn't want to hop onto that bandwagon, with those 5 championships. 4 with Montana, 1 with Steve Young. I was 12 years old. I knew they weren't going to win again for a long, long time. So why am I going to hop on that bandwagon? I might as well create my own destiny with a team that I connect with, and that's why I waited 1 more year. Went to 95, got Sapp and Brooks, and then that ended up being the perfect match based off my personality. First down, Lions. Move the chains. Let's go. If the NFL was scripted, then we would have gotten Ravens Niners. So obviously it's not, because that would obviously be best for ratings. Going into the game, the number one and the number two team. So yeah, if all the people that think it's conspiracy and things are fucking this way or that way, then why the hell did the fucking Chiefs win? And why the hell are the Lions winning 21-7? There is no script for that. 21-7 touchdown Lions. Is he good? He's the most electric running back in the NFL, and I've been saying that for months. Start to believe it. Believe when I tell you things. They have no answer for this on any defense. There's a lot of guys like Pacheco, that can get through, and Pacheco is great, but Gibbs is on a whole nother level. Vision, speed, agility. You know what I mean? Like I said, if Pacheco is a 9, Gibbs is a 10. Bottom line. I haven't seen a running back like this that's kind of undersized with this type of speed and agility in my life. Like I said, for all those people that thought the Lions fucked up by picking him too high in the draft, who's laughing now? There we go. Reflect in the building. What's good? So we got the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and now we got the Lions. And I figured the only way the Lions would win is if they punched them in the mouth early. If you remember my shows the last couple of days, and I said if they get to a 10-0 lead, that might be enough momentum for them to win. Boom, 21-7. Purdy had the one pick so far. The Niners are going to fight back with McCaffrey, but if the Niners can't get to Goff, this is going to be over. And it'll be the first time that we've had a team advance to the Super Bowl with not really a good defense. 3 teams out of 4 had top 5 defenses, and then you got the Lions that play like somewhere between maybe 15 and 20. Once in a while, the Lions will play like a top 10 D for a couple quarters, but they usually don't play great defense for a full game. So lack of personnel. So right? They said, oh, Gibbs, that was stupid. You guys drafted him around too early. 30 picks too soon. Right? Why did you do that? Oh, man, Laporta, I don't know if he'll be that good, even though the Iowa tight end resume has been great over the years. And Campbell, he sucks. He won't do anything. But it shows you, like, if you pick your guys and it fits your system and you already got 2 guys on the line, and then you get Montgomery coming in on top of that, like I said, you got the best duo running back. You got one of the best offensive lines with Penei Sewell and Ragnow. You got a top 5 receiver in Amon-Ra, top 5 tight end in Laporta. You got a top 12 quarterback in Goff. You got one of the best coaches in the league in Dan Campbell, an identity for the city and the state. The only thing that needs to really improve, right, is maybe kicker, right, and defense. A couple more pass rushers with Aiden Hutchinson, a better linebacking core, and a better secondary. But even with that being said, look at the score, 21-7. Incredible. Yeah, but I already knew they drafted well, and like I said, it's either you watch college football or you don't. And I feel like a lot of the people that made that comment, they don't watch college football. So if you're not going to watch college football and you're going to say it was a dumb move, then obviously you don't know anything about the NFL. Like, you have to be able to watch games on that level to be able to see the progression. So that way, when they break out, it's not a surprise. So for some people, they're like amazed right now. Oh my God, Laporta, he's so good. Gibbs, but for people that played fantasy or people that watch games, we've seen this all year. There's a reason I had Amon-Ra, Laporta, right? And I wanted Gibbs, but I couldn't get him, and I got Montgomery, right? I went heavy Tampa Bay, heavy Detroit. I told Reflect Detroit was good, and obviously we know Seattle beat them one-on-one. We had injuries late. But, I'm not going to be right about everything. But, again, my foreshadowing on teams usually is spot on. I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. But a lot of times I can see the light at the end of the tunnel earlier than everyone else. Everyone else will kind of see it more methodically. And they see, well, I haven't seen them do good yet. I can't give them the crown yet. But for me, I'll take a chance. And if I see the outlook of the team and I like what I'm seeing, I can project kind of earlier than everyone else. And so for this, it doesn't really surprise me fully. I mean, the defense not being that good and stepping up, that surprised me. But again, as far as the offensive weapons, you could argue the Lions have the best supporting cast as far as players besides the Niners in the whole entire league. And some people would say maybe their supporting cast is the best. I mean, hard to argue. Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta, Amon-Ra, Damo. I mean, yeah, I know you got Debo, McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kittle, But the way that they've been playing as of late, I would rather have the Detroit guys. I would rather have Gibbs, Thunder and Lightning with Montgomery. I'd rather have Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra's better than any wide receiver on the Niners, you know. And then Laporta and Kittle is a push, but Laporta has been better than him this year, So offensive lines are both good, and most people would prefer Goff over Purdy, right? Even if you were hating on Goff, back when he was on the Rams, people are believing in Goff now, and they definitely believe in Goff more than Purdy, right? Reflect with the tenor. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Yes, appreciate you. But that's the thing, though. I have to have credibility on this channel, and again, being able to see things before everyone else, and then getting you to buy into what I'm saying. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for people to believe me or to believe a particular fact or statistic, right? But eventually, if the vision is there and they stay healthy, it will come true. What happened to my hands? Oh yeah, a few of us. I mean, and then of course, if you're like a fantasy football guru like me and Reflect, and we're always looking, always spying, always watching, always reading, we're gonna have a gauge. And I think we both learned something from each other based off strategy, this season, and also, bringing out the best in both of us. Because I think that if we weren't in the same league with each other, it wouldn't have went the way that it did. And I feel that I would have rather got taken to the limits and lose rather than win and blow everyone out in the league. I want to make sure that we're getting people to understand how hard you have to play in fantasy to be able to win a championship. It ain't going to be just luck, like you have to have skill. Now, once you get to the playoffs, sometimes it is about luck, who starts, who sits, who's injured, who's not, and sometimes you have to manufacture a bullshit lineup at the very end, but again, it takes skill to get to the playoffs, and get to the playoffs, yes, there is a little bit of luck involved. So let's go. 25. Let's get to a hundo. 75 to go. All right, get your walk in, brother. I got to do another walk. I only got one walk in so far. I got another walk I got to get in after this game is over. Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Goff, and we got to hit you with a Laporta. Let's go, baby. Yeah. 6 inches of water in your basement or at the job that you have to go to? See, this is the problem. You used to be a football guy. Now you're a Taylor Swift guy. You got to get your priorities in check, bro. No one gives a shit if Travis and Taylor. No one cares. No one cares about that, bro. This isn't a Taylor Swift channel. This is a football channel, a sports channel. Like we don't care about that, bro. And you shouldn't care about that either. There's so many more positive things that you could do with your life than worry what the fuck they're doing. Like it's irrelevant, bro. It's like wasting time in life, bro. If you want to waste time in life just on everything that those two are doing, go right ahead. But there's a lot more productive things that you could be doing, bro. Oh, the 3 a.m. That's crazy. So how did you guys fix the problem? You have one of those like shop vacs that sucks up all the water and then you got to dry the shit out? 21-7 Lions. This is the best scenario that you could have asked for. Not even a field goal. The Niners haven't been able to even hold them to a field goal. Handoff. They got no answers for that. It's like you got one guy that's a bruiser back in Montgomery that can run for 100, 150, multiple touchdowns. And then you got another guy who's the speed guy where they have no one that can match the speed of Gibbs. I mean, I don't even know if there's anyone in the NFL that can match his speed. And then once you end up getting the angle, he runs past you. Like no matter what you do, he's like almost unguardable. It's like if you don't get Gibbs at the line of scrimmage, you're fucked. Like that's the only way that you can stop those guys because once they get past that initial line, they're gone. 5 yards, 12 yards, 20 yards, 40 yards. And then when they hit the sideline, good luck. But Montgomery up the middle, you don't got no answers for that. You got no answers for that. That's automatic yards all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Good offensive line, good OC, a good running backs. And if you run the ball, then the passing game opens up, so naturally. If Gus Edwards would have got the goddamn ball, maybe they would have won. But their offensive line is nowhere near the Lions. Ravens' offensive line stinks. They're terrible, and they're really not terrible, but they played terrible in that game. Well, the town turned the water off on the road. Oh, you had the pumps. That's what you do. You fucking run the ball, but you got the two best running backs in the league tandem together. Why not run the ball? You would be stupid as the Lions to not run the ball. You know what I mean? Like run the goddamn football when you got elite players. Even on the Ravens, you have Gus the Bus and Justice Hill, which is nowhere near Montgomery and Gibbs. But if you would have ran the ball, you would have won more than likely, or it would have been a hell of a lot closer. Less pressure on Lamar, less pressure on the defense. They wouldn't have been as tired. But again, if you have a shitty OC, shitty O line, shitty play calling, and you don't even run the ball, you're not going to win. Penei Sewell's like, give me the goddamn ball. Penei Sewell can catch. I watched him at Oregon. The guy is super athletic. I believe that he will be a Hall of Fame offensive lineman when it's all said and done. He's really special. They always talked about him and Rashawn Slater. Look at Penei Sewell in motion. Like Rashawn Slater is good for the Chargers, but there we go. That's how you end up stopping Gibbs. Right there at the line of scrimmage, Chase Young. And ever since they got Chase Young, he really hasn't been that impactful. Like when he first came into the league, there was a lot of hype around Chase Young. But then now, he's not as he's kind of overrated. You know what I mean? He gets hurt a lot, and you don't really see him put up numbers every game, which is kind of crazy because, coming out of college, we thought he was going to be the next big thing. 2-minute warning, 21-7 Lions. Are we going to get a Chief Lions Super Bowl? The complete opposite of all the bettors, that picked Ravens and Niners. They got no answers. And this forces Goff not to make mistakes. He doesn't have to force it to Amon-Ra and triple coverage. He doesn't have to go to Sam Laporta and double. He doesn't have to go to J-Mo deep in double coverage. They can run. And if they do a pass, they can just do it in the flat, and you don't have to go deep. There's no point. Why are you going deep? So what? Ward can get an easy pick? You don't even have to do that. So everything is, flowing perfectly, for Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. Amazing, man. The furnace didn't get ruined. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna go get another drink. Michael in the building. What's good? Here's the goal. How many Mountain Dews can I drink today? A lot. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I got my peanut M&Ms that I've been craving for weeks. I think the only thing I need to, at some point, if I end up getting a pizza, I got to get a combo pizza from my favorite round table, the King Arthur special. But so far, so good. 21-7 Lions. Underdogs are king right now so far. Both road teams playing well. Chiefs got the win on the road, and the Lions look like they're going to get a win. I mean, it's still early though, and again, the Niners will make good adjustments in the second half. But again, they don't have an answer, for this offense. And if you can't stop the run, right? If you can't, it doesn't matter who you are. If you can't stop the run, whether you have a good defense or a shitty defense, right? You're never going to win. You are never going to win the game if you can't stop the run. And I think that Shanahan probably thought the D line would do better, but again, they don't realize how good Montgomery, Gibbs, Ragnow, and Sewell really are. I mean, we're talking about four of the best at what they do playing together right now. So yeah, you got Chase Young and you got Nick Bosa, but those are only two guys. First down, Lions. They got no answer for Gibbs, and he is the most electric running back in the NFL. I've said that at the beginning of the year, and I'll say it again. There is a lot of guys that are in the NFL, like Christian McCaffrey might be the best running back in the NFL, but this is the most electric, and he is playing the best right now. Let's go. I mean, as long as you got a guy like that, if they end up beating the Niners, if you have Gibbs and he plays well, they will have a chance to win the Super Bowl over the Chiefs, even with that tough defense with Chris Jones and company. Because I haven't seen anyone really being able to contain Gibbs all year. Goff and the offense, play action fake. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for sack lunch, Bosa style. Yum, 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 yum. Like, why even throw the ball? Right? Why even throw the ball at this point? Because whenever you get into play action, that's when the Niners are able to pounce. So just keep pounding the rock. I know it's ridiculous, but if you pound the rock 40 or 50 times and they can't stop it, you're going to win. Why throw the ball or put yourself in bootleg or play action when the guys can't get open fast enough? And there's not going to be very many guys that are going to get to Goff. Normally it'll be like Nick Bosa or maybe Dre Greenlaw. And if Greenlaw's a little banged up, it's like all you got to do is double team, Bosa the best that you can, or have someone lined up with them, whether that's Laporta or Penei Sewell or whoever. Flying in the building. What's good, brother? Always grinding. I hope that one day that you have an offensive coordinator that uses their brain. Because the thing is, I want to see Lamar succeed. Honestly, I want to see Mahomes have an amazing career and legacy like Brady. But I don't want Mahomes to eliminate Burrow and Allen and Lamar. I want to be able to see those guys, at least have a chance in the Super Bowl or win one. I think, I don't think it's, as a fan of the league, it would be cool to see Herbert win one, Lamar win one, Allen win one, Burrow win one. I think it would be good for the NFL. But again, when you get a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, and Mahomes, it's like almost the only way you're going to get past him is if Mahomes is hurt, or he has an injury. Other than that, I don't know if there's any way that you're going to get past them. We haven't seen anybody being able to really do it yet besides Burrow, but they weren't good enough to win. They were able to get past the Chiefs, but they weren't able to win the Super Bowl with Burrow. And everyone thought that they would be back. They haven't been back since. Goff? Come on, Ross St. Brown. First down, Lions. Is he good? Damn right he is. I'm telling you, that Niners secondary isn't good. They got Ward, who could be a Pro Bowl, all-pro guy, but they got no Talanoa Hufanga. And if you got no Talanoa Hufanga, the defense is not 3 levels. It was 3 levels, with Bosa and then obviously with Dre Greenlaw and company and Fred Warner, and then you had Talanoa Hufanga. No Hufanga, lots of yards, lots of yards. I don't think people are talking about that enough. The Talanoa Hufanga injury is going to be the death of the Niners. Well, when you got a good offensive line and you got an offensive coordinator that knows that they need to run the football. Imagine if the Lions played like the Ravens against the Chiefs and they were afraid to run against Chase Young and Nick Bosa. You think the score's 21-7 right now? Hell no. You can't be afraid of what's in front of you. You have to be able to be, confident, have that swagger, and understand, yes, I know that they have some Hall of Fame guys and Pro Bowl guys and a stingy run game. But if you don't believe in yourself with the guys and the game plan, what are you doing? And I know Gus the Bus and Justice Hill are not David Montgomery and they're not Jahmyr Gibbs, but Jesus Christ, run the ball. Edgar in the building. What's good? Well, like I said, you have to be able to stop the run. And, Ben Johnson's starting to earn his paycheck even more and more. And obviously, not many teams are going to be able to have the same type of roster to have this type of success. But if I'm the Lions, I don't let fucking Ben Johnson go. You kidding me? I mean, regardless of what happens, do they win the Super Bowl? They win this game, they lose this game. They win the Super Bowl, they lose the Super Bowl. Like, if it was me, I tried to do anything in my power, to pay Johnson as a head coach, as an OC. Because if you want to be able to keep a team with continuity, what are the chances the next offensive coordinator is going to be as good as Johnson? Like, probably none, zero. So, I mean, unless they win the Super Bowl this year and they climb the mountain, and then you can let them go, I guess. But I would love to see Johnson stay at OC, but the reality is he'll probably be a head coach next year. That's why we can't get too overconfident when everyone was banking Niners, Ravens, Super Bowl, weeks in advance. And again, in normal years, the home team wins. In normal years in the AFC NFC championship game, the Ravens would win, the Niners would win. But this isn't a normal year. This is the year of the backup quarterback. This is just a weird year. But again, it shows you, history tends to repeat itself, but history is meant to be broken. And this will be one of the first times we've seen both road teams win in this type of fashion, if it ends up happening. Oh, just missed them. 25, let's get to a hundo. Are we at 20? Let's get to 30. 10 more likes. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as here on YouTube. I appreciate you. Shout out. But again, this Lions team is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. It was just a few weeks ago when they went to Chicago and got their ass kicked. So it shows you, if you can turn things around and understand what the job is in front of you, this same Lions team that got their ass kicked by the Bears and Justin Fields might be going to the Super Bowl. And hell, they might win it. So, that's why, I feel with the defense, they're nowhere near where they need to be. But if they can run the football and the other team can't stop it, that will hide some of the issues that you have on defense, clearly. Nice catch by Amon Ra. Lions are balling, baby. Lions are balling. That's why you can't punch your ticket. All those Eagle fans thinking they were going to go to the Super Bowl and win. All the Niners and Ravens fans said it was automatic. We bought the tickets. We're in the Super Bowl. Not so fast. First and goal. Should have went for the guy underneath right there. He was open. Intended to tight end Sam Laporta. It would have went to the guy underneath, whoever that was, Gibbs or whoever that was. That would have been a tutty. They got weapons on weapons on weapons. And arguably the most exciting weapons in football. There is not a better youth movement than the Detroit Lions on the line, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. So, I know it is a little surprising, but who's hotter than the players that they have on the team with Dan Campbell too? But again, if the Niners were able to stop the run, then, then maybe the score is like 10-7 Lions, or maybe it's 14-10 Niners, but not many teams, even with elite defenses, have been able to stop, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, let alone one of them, let alone both of them. Like almost impossible. The best duo at running back in the league by a billion, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And like I said, I even told y'all at the beginning of the year this was the most electric running back in the NFL. And then week in and week out, he's proving that pick was worth the selection. Even though all the other quote-unquote experts said the Lions are idiots, the Lions are dumb. Why did they pick a player like this that should have went in the second round? Well, they clearly knew what they were doing. Shotgun set. Goff in the flat. Falls down. Unbelievable. Falls down and still gets like 5 yards. Unbelievable. Take the field goal. There it is. Field goal is up, and it's good. Don't pull a Lanning. Exactly. Don't pull a Lanning. But again, when you got, you got Dan Campbell and you got Ben Johnson, so it's like you got like the quote unquote meathead personality. But the thing is like people act like that's a bad thing. They act like, oh, he might not be the brightest guy. They got Ben Johnson calling the plays. It's fine. But if you are real and you're genuine and you're passionate, yeah, you might not be the most intellectual guy. You got other guys on the staff that can help you in that category, right? But if you're real and you're genuine and you're passionate, people will play harder for you, regardless of your intelligence, if they know that your intentions are real and genuine. And that's what we're getting out of the Detroit Lions all season. And this is the first year in about a 5-year run where we're going to see the Lions as one of the top 4 teams in the NFC moving forward. Amazing, man. I appreciate that. Judah in the building. What's good? 24/7 Lions. Unbelievable. But again, we know the Niners have Purdy and Run CMC and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle, but it doesn't have that same sexy factor as Jared Goff on a team that actually believes in him, right? With a running back like Jahmyr Gibbs, who might be a little undersized, but no one can catch him. David Montgomery is the bruiser back. No one has an answer for that. Amon-Ra was a top 10. Now he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. No one can guard him. And then now you got one of the best tight ends in the NFL in Sam Laporta on top of Penei Sewell and Ragnow. And I just can't wait until the Lions actually have a defense. If they actually get a defense and are considered top 10, can you imagine like what we're going to be able to get? Hell, the Lions might end up winning the Super Bowl without a defense. That would probably be the most impressive thing I've seen since I've been alive on this earth for 41 years, to be able to see a team with not really a defense, even though they've been playing better as of late. But if you compare them against the Niners D, Ravens D, and the Chiefs D, they're nowhere close. They couldn't even beat the Bears a couple weeks ago. So it shows you, how things can change very rapidly with the team, that has the focus and the goal, and also coaches that they believe in. Brandon in the building, what's good? I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Congratulations on your Kansas City Chief victory. And I never had a problem with the biting kneecaps and all that stuff coming out. I liked him from the very start. Like I said, that's the type of guy that I would want to be friends with. That's the type of guy that if you needed a favor, like he would be there. Those are the type of friends that are like genuine. Like your car broke down, it's 1 a.m., no one's around. I need help. Can you get out of your PJs and fucking pick me up? He would do it. Those are the type of guys. And when you can see that type of energy reciprocated with the teammates, see a guy at head coach doing push-ups and doing drills with the players, this is the type of payoff that you get when you end up getting a coach that's like that. It's beautiful. Man, Niner fans having a heart attack right now, just like Ravens fans. That's why you can't count your chickens before they hatch, man. All right, talk soon. Cracking in 50 minutes. It's like okay, if you already got like a top 5 D, like how good of a defense do you need? Number 1? Is that what it's going to take to beat a team like the Lions, that you have to have the number 1 D? And even if you have the number 1 D, you're still probably not winning this game. That shows you like how elusive and agile and athletic, that Gibbs and Montgomery are as a duo. Unbelievable, man. I feel that he overachieved. I feel like he overachieved this year, and he'll get a deal to be the Bucks quarterback, but is he good enough to win a playoff game or two? Yeah, but he's not good enough to win the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. So I feel that I would rather draft a Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., someone like that to compete with him, get rid of Kyle Trask, the backup now. And if we don't pick a quarterback this year, which we probably won't once we give Baker a deal, hopefully the following year with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning and a few of these others, Shedeur Sanders, hopefully we look for a quarterback then, because I don't want to be stuck with Baker forever. Like I think that he's like pretty good, but not good enough to win a Super Bowl. So I think that's a fair statement. So yeah, taking, like I said, field goals, or like offensive linemen. They're not sexy. But again, 21-7, maybe you have a little bit of hope. We're getting our ass kicked, but 24-7, it's over. It's like, that extra 3 points when you look up at the scoreboard, if it's 7-14, you're like, fuck. But we can come back one play, right? Then it's 7-21. You're like, well, we're down bad. But if we get the ball in the second half and get a stop and score, boom, we're right in it. But when you look at 24-7, based on how the game is going, there's nothing that's going to, turn this game around. Unless for whatever reason Gibbs and Montgomery get hurt and the running game disappears, then maybe the Niners come back and then they can maybe force something like overtime if they got that to happen. But I mean, that's not going to happen today. So I like the way that the Lions have been playing. It's unbelievable, man. You never know what you're going to end up getting in the playoffs, especially this year. And to have two road teams win, that's unheard of. Like that shit doesn't happen. Go back in the history books and look to see like road teams and home teams. That shit don't happen. And if it does, you only get one road team to win, not two. Home field advantage, there isn't one. Unbelievable. Well, Kyle Shanahan's legacy takes the hit. Jared Goff's legacy goes up. Maybe home field advantage is overrated. Apparently it is. Sometimes, having the me against the world attitude is better. Because if you're at home, everyone's rooting for you. You get a little cocky, you get a little overconfident, and you're not as focused compared to that team that has nothing to lose, that plays free and easy. Who's got the pressure on them in this game? The Ravens and the Niners, who played free and easy. The Chiefs and the Lions, and it shows. Take care of your mental health. If you're a Ravens fan and a Niners fan, your mental health ain't good right now. 9 more likes to 30. Let me know what you guys want to do for photos. I'm going to go check up on Paisley here in a second. Look at these Niner fans. I'm surprised they're still there. Best team in the NFL besides the Ravens, and you have 7? Before the game started, after the first quarter. Balance is everything. I mean, just imagine if the Ravens had balance on their offense. Outcome would have been different. crazy too, because sometimes, whether you want to admit it or not, sometimes, Gibbs is even more electric than Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey might be the best overall running back. But again, you're getting a similar type of result, sometimes even more out of Gibbs. And then on top of that, you got a Montgomery. The Niners don't have a Montgomery. So very happy. And you haven't had to worry about Goff throwing picks because they can just hand the ball off. Good for Detroit. Magical run. Barry Sanders, one of the best running backs of all time. Megatron, one of the best wide receivers of all time. And now you finally have a team, not just a couple, individual players, but you actually have the full complement. Eminem is happy, baby. A lot of surprises. I don't think anyone anticipated the outcome of both games like that. I mean, we knew it was going to be low scoring in that Chiefs-Ravens game, but just the inability of the Ravens to do anything. And then obviously here, you pound the rock, and you wait for them to stop you. And if they don't, what do? You keep pounding the rock. Oh, yeah. Perryman, Herman Moore, Lomas Brown, Dre Bly. I'm going to go check up on Paisley here real quick. All right, give me a 1 minute or so. Let me go check up. Hi, Abdallah Hala by Michael. Let me know what you want to do for photos. I got you, bro. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus stack. Bang, bang. What do you want to see for photos? Type it in the chat, and I got you. And as soon as I come back, I'm going to check up on my pup. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. All right, I'm back. I just check up on my pup. Nice. Good selections. Let's do it. It's also really nice, too, because one of the key pieces is one of my Oregon Ducks. So it's always nice when we have guys that actually pan out in the NFL. But Penei Sewell was just like Haloti Ngata, just on the opposite side of the ball. Everyone here in Oregon knew that he was going to end up being a great player and most likely has a very, very good chance to be a Hall of Fame player. He's that good. I know some people don't realize how good he is or was or will be, but the guy is a freak. I mean, remember, the Bengals were either going to go him or Jamar Chase. So obviously they got, Jamar Chase for Burrow, and it worked out even though they didn't go to a Super Bowl. But now as you look back, and the Bengals have started to get some more offensive linemen, right? But this was the perfect fit for Penei Sewell. Took a couple years to kind of get this team right, but they're there. And everyone needs to know who Frank Ragnow is. Like I said, he's one of the best centers in the game, and not a lot of people know who he is, but more people will know, after this game and moving forward. Penei gets all the love, but again, center is so important, and when you have a good one, it definitely makes a huge advantage and a huge difference in the team. Someone's got to give love to the fucking O-line and the defense and special teams and coaches. All right, third quarter, baby. Let's go, baby. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was going to say with the Lions O-line, sometimes they'll be ranked number one. Sometimes they'll go down a few spots. But it's hard pressed to find an offensive line that's going to be as good as them, top to bottom. And they still have improvement. They got, 2-3 guys out of 5. The other guys can be improved. But overall, there was a stretch where, for like 8 or 9 weeks, they were ranked, as the top offensive line. So, and it shows today. Decker, company. Ragnow, 77, and Penei Sewell, 58. I wish the Ravens would have been able to have some offensive linemen like that. McCaffrey. All right, let's go. Yeah, there's no point on going for the touchdown. What? So you can be up 28-7? 24-7 has the same impact as 28-7. The other team goes to the locker room and they say, fuck. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They're still saying fuck when it's 21-7, right? First down, Niners. Yeah. Yep. Yep. 100%. Very solid. But the big piece is, having like, a tackle, and a guy that can pull and move. And same thing with the center, that a guy that can move and pull as well. Because again, if the Lions only had like a guard and a tackle, they wouldn't be this good. People don't realize if you have a good center, that's like having a linebacker, calling the plays and protections. What do you think that the center does? The center calls the plays and protection with the quarterback and helps that guy out. So the better of a center that you have, the better your football team is going to be. Like I said, I feel that if you got a right-handed quarterback, the most valuable will be left tackle. If you got a lefty like Michael Penix Jr., then the right tackle, the blind side, like the movie Michael Orr, right? But besides the left tackle and the right tackle, to me, the most important piece is the center, even over a right guard or a left guard. The center is so influential on how the team runs, and if they're athletic enough to pull, like Frank Ragnow. There's not a lot of guys that can pull at guard or tackle, even less at center. Yes. 30. Let's get to a hundo. 70 to go. But again, the games are going to be won in the trenches. O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling. It's not always about quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. And then if they're doing well, you have to look at the line and see, oh, that's why. Or if they're not doing well, oh, that's why. Like in the Ravens game, they didn't have an O-line. They got their ass kicked. Even though they lost by 7, it felt like 27. Wow, that could have been a pick. What a catch. Juwan Jennings, my God. Yeah, they do definitely. I mean, in all honesty, even if they got a field goal, that would stop the bleeding. It's not ideal, but 24-10 is a lot better than 24-7. But if they could get a touchdown, obviously that's best case scenario, but they haven't had much luck yet. Sometimes you got to be able to crawl before you walk, and even getting a 3 before you get 6 is definitely helping. But I mean, at this point, it doesn't look like the Niners are going to come back. They're down by too much, and I don't see anything that states that they're going to stop the run in the second half. Exactly. Exactly. It's a team effort. You got to have the players, but you also have to have the coaches. Everything. It has to be in sync together. 11 on 11. Everyone on the same wavelength. Everyone on the same game plan. Everyone willing to sacrifice for each other. Wow, who was that to? Yeah, Purdy looking like fucking Colin Kaepernick and Jimmy G. And obviously, if you're needing to have a spark, who do you go to? You got to go to Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, CMC. And if things aren't working, you got to open up the playbook a little bit more. Obviously, Purdy doesn't have time for, a stop and go and a post route to develop over 5 seconds. It's bang, bang, get rid of the football. You don't have time to make those big plays work. And if you are going to go deep, you're probably going to throw a pick. Field goal up, field goal good. At least Moody was able to make one, but I had him in fantasy and dropped him because I didn't trust him. It would have been just much better for me if Maher would have been healthy all year and he wouldn't have missed a couple, and if McVay wouldn't have fired him. That way I wouldn't have had to fucking scramble to find a fucking kicker this year in fantasy. But I tried. I tried to be able to find the sleepers with Moody and Maher, and it was working out for a couple weeks, but Moody is too inconsistent. 43-yard kick is up, and it's good. Well, at least they're kind of back in it. 3 points, remember? 3. Better, sometimes just as good as 6. You got to crawl before you walk. All right, Moody. I'll see you. 24-10. Lions. You got anything that you want to see for a photo? Max Unger, baby. Yep. 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 And the thing is, how often do you get guys in the first round and all of them pan out? All of them? Like all of them. Maybe 1 if you're lucky, 2 if you're hopeful, but 3, no way in hell. And they did. What are the other 2 guys ranked on the PFF side? What are the other 2 besides Ragnow, Decker, and Penny Sewell? What are the other 2 guys ranked? Because those are the 2 spots you need to improve. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Duck, so of course, I got to see plenty of what he was able to do. I loved him. Hell, I wish Tampa would have got him in the draft back then. But again, centers are not sexy. It's like field goal kickers. It's not sexy, but sometimes you need them. And they can end up being big impact guys for you. Ooh, look at that one, fire one. Appreciate you, bro. All right, Lions. But again, not everyone looks at football the same way. Again, a lot of people like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, but the real football heads, understand, how much deeper and complex football is. Not just a bunch of fucking meatheads running around with their heads cut off like chickens, Cyber in the building. Congratulations, man. Your guys' offensive line was the MVP again. And again, like I said, when you have a great offensive line and people think that might be the weakest part of the team and they end up being the strongest piece of the team, throughout, certain games like they did in the Super Bowl against the Eagles and then again against the Ravens today. Congratulations, man. Big victory for you. And then Patrick Mahomes' legacy, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, their reputation, and then being able to win on the road and being the villain, being the new Tom Brady moving forward, that's secured now, and everyone else, whether it's Herbert or Burrow or Allen or Lamar, everyone has to look up at Pat, and he's the guy. So that's, you went from being the underdog and then, from Tom Brady being the villain. And then now we're finally at the stage where Pat is going to be the villain because he's so fucking good and people don't have an answer to get past you guys. So, and I know Chiefs fans will embrace that role. They could give a shit less if they're the villain. they've always felt like against everyone else anyways. So now it just states the fact that if you got Pat and he's healthy, he's going to be able to own Allen, own Herbert, own Lamar, own anyone. It's just pretty much if they lose, it'll be against the NFC team sometimes. But, you would think most of the time they will probably end up getting the dub. So like if they end up going to 3 more Super Bowls, they'll probably win 2 of them and lose 1. Or if they go to 4 more Super Bowls, maybe they win 3 and lose 1, or go 2-2. But, as long as you got a guy like that, Pat is Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes. And that's what it's going to end up being on Mount Rushmore when it's all said and done. It's either you recognize it and you can see the foreshadowing written on the wall, or you don't. So, but the offensive line gets to the tip of the hat, for me. And like I said, that has been the big reason, and the one focal point that fans don't mention. They want to talk about Pat and Kelsey 11 for 11. But if the offensive line doesn't do their job, Pat doesn't have time to go to Kelsey, and then the running game doesn't get going with Pacheco. So offensive line has been a real big key for the Kansas City Chief run in the last few years. Nice. Where did you go? That's crazy, bro. And that's why you can't count your chickens before they hatch. You want to make sure that now I think because there was always going to be, it's Ravens Niners, it's Ravens Niners. But sometimes as that elite guy like Mahomes, you got to shut everyone up. You got to shut all the narratives up. And the bottom line, the league runs through Mahomes. And it's either you understand that and you admit that and you understand that that's real, or you're just a hater. It's like he is the modern day Tom Brady. Whether you love him or you hate him, or you love the Chiefs, hate the Chiefs, love Taylor, hate Taylor, love Kelsey, hate Kelsey. The bottom line is the league is going to run through them. And that's just the way it's going to be. And then you just got to hope if you're an NFC team and you make it, that you have a good O-line and D-line to match up with Kansas City and Mahomes. How fun, bro. I'm glad that they won for you. That would have been a tough road trip to go to and then lose, so that's awesome. I'm happy that you decided to go to the game. What was the reaction by the Ravens? A bunch of people like whining, complaining, and crying. What was the overall vibe there? Obviously, Chiefs fans, obviously on cloud 9, Ravens fans in disbelief. I mean, you're going to get good fans and bad fans from everything. So Mahomes and Kelsey came to play with the defense. Yeah, but the O-line deserves the kudos. If you actually go back and watch the film, the O-line was amazing. And whoever's O-line played the best was going to win, just like in the Super Bowl. The Eagles had supposedly O-line, D-line, and defense and coaching and play calling, but the O-line didn't give up a pick or a sack the whole game in the Super Bowl, and that's why they won. So we have to make sure that we're giving credit to the O-line because, we can give credit to Pat, we can give credit to Kelsey and Andy Reid and the defense, right? And obviously, L'Jarius Sneed with that amazing punch out too, right? It's like Antoine Winfield Jr. or Charles Peanut Tillman. But the O-line is really, that single unit that never gets love, but is the determining factor on getting the dubs. At the end, they were pissed. So of course they were. They ran into a monster named Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, the only bugaboo and the fuck up for the Chiefs was not going for the field goal early when they went for it, but it didn't come back to bite them. But they could have, put that field goal on there after the pick, but it didn't hurt them, so it didn't matter. But that was the only time you guys left something on the board where you guys, instead of going for it on 4th down and 1, kicked the field goal. But again, it didn't hurt you. Flowers, yeah. 24-10 Lions. Good defense there by the Niners. Yeah, but even if Flowers gets that touchdown, they still probably don't win. It would have helped them and gained a little bit more momentum. You know what I mean? But again, But when you're the number one rushing team in the NFL and Gus Edwards had one rush, one in the whole first half, you're going to lose. Because then at that point, you already have taken yourself out of your own game plan. You were supposed to run, 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 open up the path for OBJ, Zay, Nelson Aguilar, Andrews, everyone else. And then what happened? You decided to go away from the run, and then they already knew that you weren't going to run in the second half. So then you were just open to passing. And if a team knows that all you're going to do is pass, you've lost. There's no element of surprise. So, I feel like the OC got an F. The offensive line for the Ravens got an F. I wouldn't have given a Lamar an F. You know what I mean? But again, when you have crucial third downs and it's 3rd and 4 and you need a first down and your number one option is a flat pass at Justice Hill over his head, you're going to lose. And so, as good as Lamar is, even if he ends up winning the MVP, we have to understand Lamar is not Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert is not Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen is not Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow is not Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts is not Patrick Mahomes. And once we start to realize that Patrick Mahomes is Tom Brady, then, people will start understanding. But again, sometimes we have to get to a point where there's other teams that are more highly rated and it's a Ravens Niners Super Bowl. Everyone already, this is it. This is it, right? It's just them. And then you start to realize that the narrative needs to be rewritten. And obviously now moving forward, I don't think people will be as hyped on Lamar or Herbert or Allen or Burrow. And, really, if you're going to choose one, the only one you can really say is Burrow because he's the only one really to get past the Chiefs. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but at least they were able to get past the Chiefs in that one particular year. So, it's like he is going to be the modern day villain. And like I said, they can do the villain part because of Taylor Swift and Kelsey. But even if they're not dating, this is the game that you realize that this is the villain of the NFL, whether he deserves that moniker or not. But he is the best. He is the top dog. And if you want to be able to get to the Super Bowl, you have to get past him, bottom line. On the NFC, it'll be more open. But on the AFC, as long as Pat is playing, just like when Brady was playing, you have to go through that person and that team to be able to be a champ. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's just the truth. Pat is the modern day Brady. When it's all said and done, will he catch Tom? Probably not. But I wouldn't be shocked if Mahomes wins 4, 5, maybe even 6, depending on how they build the team after Reed leaves and, depending on how long Kelsey plays for. But it's not crazy to think that, Mahomes will be the closest thing, to Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady to be in the Mount Rushmore. If there's anyone that can get 4 Super Bowls, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes, 4 or more. Who else can you say can get to that number? Nobody. There's no one that you can say confidently that can get there. But with Mahomes, you're already halfway there. Uncle Mo is real. He is. And another thing, too, Chiefs fans support, Ravens fans don't. So that's another part of it, too. If you want the sports gods and a little bit of that juju, Ravens fans, they don't support. They don't donate. They don't support at all, right? Chiefs fans do. They support. Uncle Mo is real. Congratulations, man. And a big part of it, too, is all the drops. Guess what? Those players that dropped the ball, did they play in the game? No, they didn't. Besides MVS at the end to make that big play, right? Oh, we caught it. Flag on the play. Wow, that was huge. That was huge. Because Sky Moore wasn't playing. Kadarius Toney went on IG and was complaining that he wasn't hurt, and he had his baby or whatever and whatnot. But again, not having Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney as options to throw to is actually a benefit for the Chiefs. You don't got to worry about any drops. You can go to Noah Gray, you can go to Justin Watson. I trust them. You go to Rice and Kelsey and Pacheco, and you're fine. So all those problems the Chiefs had in the first 2 months, they haven't had them in the last month and a half. Wow. instead of getting up, he should have did a barrel roll. If you just would have rolled into the end zone, maybe he gets in. Oh, they're calling that as the touch. 30. Let's get to a hundo. Man in motion. Debo. Good defense there by the Lions. And I think like with the offensive line and the defensive line, they are a spitting image of Dan Campbell. Like when you see Dan Campbell huffing and puffing and giving that energy and that swag, you feel like the offensive line and defensive line are a mirror image of him, and that's why they're so good as well. I mean, like what part of the touch? I mean, you have to get touched as you're falling to the ground. I mean, it's like once he gets up, or if he's on the ground, not like at the same time when he's catching the ball. I don't know. That could have been a touchdown, but there's a touchdown. Touchdown, Niners. And just like that, they're back in the game. That's why you have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. You gotta be able to make sure that you don't let up because the Niners are good enough to get points in spurts. And again, it's like people want to complain, about Purdy and whatnot, but I mean, remember, Lamar, they only put up 10. One touchdown and then a field goal. That's it. And Lamar is supposed to be the Super Bowl or MVP, right? MVPs don't get fucking 7 points. Ayuk, touchdown, Niners. They might as well give him back the ball. We have ourselves a game. Big drive. Big comeback by the Niners. The momentum is real now, Uncle Mo. So now you have to stop the bleeding and you have to make sure you get at least a field goal on the next drive. Because if you keep letting the Niners hang around, I mean, you get Ayuk jumping over the Golden Gate Bridge just like this photo. Damn right they did. They were awesome. Offensive line was the number one thing, but the defense was just amazing. Flying around, making plays the whole game. But again, also too, remember, they refused to run the football. So it played into the hands of you guys. All you guys had to do is just do your normal defense. And of course, you can run down Lamar. He'll have a couple scrambles here and there. But let's be honest. Mark Andrews is hurt, right? Zay Flowers has had a pretty good season, but he's more of a wide receiver too, right? Aguilar, OBJ, Isaiah Likely. These guys aren't that good. It's not like they got a bunch of superstars at running back and receiver. You know what I mean? And at tight end, the tight end was injured. That was the game that they needed Mark Andrews to, copy the production of Travis Kelce. And if he was able to do that, then maybe the game's a little closer. But when you have an injured Mark Andrews, he was just kind of out there as a decoy. He wasn't really able to do anything. So very, very impressed on how Kansas City handled business. Yep. But again, when you don't run the football and you have the number one rated team at running the football, and that they're just going to be passing the rest of the game, it definitely falls into the game plan of Spags, and Spags did a great job of utilizing the idiots on that other side of the ball. How do you got the number one rated rushing offense with Lamar and with Justice Hill, right, and company, right? And then you decide to be like, well, I guess Gus the Bus, we just won't run with him. One run in the first half, one, and he's the type of guy that can rip off a 20 to 40-yard run, break 3 tackles, and score. So if you got a guy like that, I know Gus the Bus Edwards isn't Jerome Bettis, and he isn't Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery or Run CMC, but run the damn ball. They only have themselves to blame. O-line stinks. Offensive coordinator stinks. What can you say? Chiefs earned it. Yep. And a lot of it has to do with Chris Jones and that D-line with Carl Laftis. When people look at that and they know they have a top 3 defense, they get scared and they don't want to run it. They don't want to challenge. They look across the other side of the line and they have fear. And that's why they decided to go against it, because they thought, well, we got Gus the Bus, but they got Chris Jones over there, and they got Carl. No, we can't run. And then you already eliminated yourself from winning the game right after that. You can't have the number one rushing offense and have one carry with your running back in the first half and think you're still going to win. Congratulations, Kansas City Chiefs. All right, Lions, your turn. No, nothing on the Cash App, but again, we got an amazing, 3 stacks yesterday, 10 from Odin Sun and 290 from Cyberpunk. So, if things are a little bit lighter today, we'll see where it goes. Niners recover the fumble. You already knew that was going to happen. Either Goff was going to throw a pick or one of the running backs were going to fumble at some point. Armstead, go Ducks. Now momentum has shifted. It was all Detroit, and now it's all Niners. Yeah, Gibbs went the wrong way. And never really ended up securing the football there. Gibbs, he might be the most electric, but that's a costly turnover. Momentum. Uncle Mo is real. And so no matter, how, bad things are, if you have a good players and good coaches, you can fight that momentum, even if it's really bleak and really dark. Plus, the Niners have better supporting cast than the Ravens. So, you got plenty of options there, and you got a better play caller in Kyle Shanahan. Hell, I would take a drunk Kyle Shanahan over anything on the Ravens side. At least I know I'm going to be able to move the football. 30. Let's get to a hundo. All right, Niners, you got to get at least a field goal on this drive. Take the points if they're there. Of course, 24-24 is great, but if you get a chance to kick a field goal, do it. Get it to 24-20. But if you do kick a field goal, 45 yards or less. Once it goes to 48 and up, Moody can't hit that. So it has to be 45 or less. So we'll have to make sure we look at that as well. 2nd and 11. Ooh, look at Purdy run. Look at Purdy run. Runs into Debo. Wow. First down, Niners. Wow. He's like, I can run too, biatch. I'm not fucking Jimmy G. I'm not calling Kaepernick. Okay. All right, Brock. Touchdown, Niners. And just like that, the game is tied. That's why you have to make sure that, when you have a chance to be able to step, and make sure you put that pressure on. You can't let up even a little. See how crazy that is? The game was over, and now all of a sudden the game is tied. I mean, this is exactly what the Ravens were hoping for against the Chiefs. Not so fast. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Most teams would crack, down by that much. Most teams, you're down 24-7, you crack. You're fucked. You're done. You know what I mean? But like the Chiefs and the Niners are like two of the teams that when they get down, they don't give up. And that's one thing that I can really admire about the AFC, NFC powerhouses. Once they get down, they don't give up. And that's very rare to not get down on yourself when you're down 24-7 and you're at home. And now with a blink of an eye, it's 24-24. Crazy. Crazy. We knew this game was going to be good. I was hoping for the high to mid 30s, and I was hoping that the Lions would get into the high 20s to keep it close. 24-24. Couldn't have asked for a better game and a better weekend. Let's go. Extra point is up, and it's good. Wow. Well, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk, and sometimes, Brock Purdy makes a play, and they go to the best running back in the league and run CMC, and then you look at the scoreboard, and it's fucking 24-24. What a roller coaster of emotion for Niner fans. Well, this might end up being better than the Super Bowl. I mean, we'll find out what kind of score, what kind of game that we get, but now the Niner fans can actually take a sigh of relief. 24-7, it's over. Now 24-24, it feels like the Niners' momentum, if they don't stop it, they're going to win. You got to be able to, and the thing is, if you're the Lions with Gibbs fumbling, right, if you stop going to Gibbs, you're going to lose the game. You have to make sure you keep going to Gibbs and Montgomery. So this will be a key thing for Ben Johnson if he wants to be a head coach. Once a running back makes a mistake and fumbles, are you going to go away from Gibbs, or are you going to continue to give him the rock? And hopefully if they give him the rock, he doesn't fumble again. We'll find out here real quick. Pressure's on for Jared Goff and the Goffense. Sam Laporta? Yes, please. David Montgomery? Yes, please. Jahmyr Gibbs? Yes, please. Amon-Ra St. Brown, get him the damn ball. What a game. Let's go. I got to go use the restroom here before we get back. Golly, what a game. Awesome. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Man, give the Niners a lot of credit. How many teams could be down 24-7 and actually come back and tie it up? Like, we're talking about like 1% of teams that could do that. Maybe two teams, the Chiefs and the Niners, and that's it. Unbelievable. Oh, hey, Edgar, you got to feel a little bit better now. I mean, 24/7, you're like, fuck my life. We were supposed to get to the Super Bowl, have a wonderful year, with Shanahan and company. And then all of a sudden, momentum in one quarter, Uncle Mo is real. You look at the scoreboard, you're no longer, swearing and punching the wall and screaming and throwing the jersey on the ground and stomping on it. Now you're like, okay, we actually, fought that momentum, right? And now we're right in it. Like, you don't know if you're going to win or not, but at least you know that you have a good fucking chance, and momentum shifted drastically. First half, all Lions. Third quarter, all Niners. What's the fourth quarter going to be? Niners or Lions? Wow. Edgar feeling pretty good now. Motherfucker sweating through his boxes, through his shirt, his jacket, jersey. Good defense. Niners waking up now. Yeah, if you're Ben Johnson and you go away from Gibbs, you're going to lose. Bang, bang, Niner gang waking up. E40 waking up. Are we going to get a costly Jared Goff pick at some point? Incomplete. Wow. And then at some point or another, that, oh boy, Nick Bosa will be making plays. Wow, it almost fell into Laporta's lap. Jesus, if Laporta just was paying attention, he could have got that ball. Momentum is shifted and momentum is real. People don't want to act like Uncle Mo it fucking exists. But if Peter Schrager watches the show and loves to steal it from me, it's real. Josh Reynolds, and that's why you don't go to Josh Reynolds in that situation. You go to Josh Reynolds on first down, not in a critical 3rd and long. I wouldn't have went to Damo. I wouldn't have went to Reynolds. Or if Khalif Raymond was healthy and not injured, I wouldn't have gone to him either. That's the difference. You have to go to your superstars on 3rd down. Amon Ra, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, nobody else. What happened to my hands? If Detroit would have got that on the 1, let's look at the replay. Oh, Lucas, you idiot! That was an amazing kick. 24-24. Well, obviously the Detroit Lions came out like Mike Tyson Punch Out, and we're doing haymakers on Glass Joe and everyone else, right? But again, it's a 4-quarter game, not 2 quarters. But again, how many teams, can come back in the preseason or regular season 24/7? Let's be honest. How many? Not many. How many could do it at the AFC or NFC championship game? Even less. And we're seeing it right now. Unbelievable. And we still haven't seen George Kittle yet, so best believe you're going to see him make a play in the 4th quarter. I don't know what kind of play, but there'll be a play that he'll make. Keep feeding Christian McCaffrey if you're the Niners. Ayuk going over the Golden Gate Bridge. Watch out. And you already know it's almost a matter of time for Nick Bosa. All right, Lions. Your turn, man. You got to do something. Do something, Lions. You got to get a stop, and then you got to get a score. Find a way. Play like you did in the first half. And if you're Ben Johnson, don't go away from Gibbs just because he had that fumble. Jared Goffitz and that Goffitz cook. And he's doing his job. Let's go. Ragnar, baby. Wow, what a game. What a game. Oh, I got the Kraken coming on. Hold up. I got to be able to put that on. Kraken started 4 minutes ago. And we'll do an AFC NFC championship game reaction videos. I'll either do them tonight or tomorrow morning. And then we may or may not have a stream tomorrow. There's only one NHL game on tomorrow. And there's some NBA. Maybe we'll do Sixers, Blazers, but we'll figure it out. I think I got to get the Kraken on here too. Columbus Blue Jackets and the Kraken, Bulls and Blazers, and then we got Lions, Niners. All right, Kraken is up on my screen here as well. Let's go. 49ers led 24-7 at halftime, and then the Lions came back and won that game. Wow. Purdy, let's coming. Oh, how did he get away from that sack lunch? You got to be kidding me. Toe drag swag by Juszczyk. The guy's a fullback. Fucking toe drag swag. Mike Allstott. Let's go. Juszczyk. How the hell did he get out of that fucking sack lunch right there? Jesus. All right, Brock, I see you. Juszczyk. Of course, we got to get Juszczyk up there, especially with his wife making all those custom jackets and jerseys and whatnot. She's talented. Definitely a fan favorite. Use check. I see you, baby. Fullback, a dying breed. Always love the fullback. I'm a big Mike Allstott guy, so. All right, fourth quarter, baby, for a trip to the Super Bowl. End of the third quarter, 24-24. We're knotted up. Now I need to be able to find out what's the biggest deficit in AFC or NFC championship game history. 17 has got to be up there. You know, to be down by 17 and come back and win if they do win. I mean, that's a big fucking number. Odell Beckham's dad. My son deserves better quarterback play. You set him up for failure today. This loss is not on OBJ. Pray for him. Free OBJ. Bait fraud. Uh, Balta fraud. Wow. Maddie's back. Nice. I got it on right now too. I'm watching. I got both games on. I mean, OBJ's dad complaining, hey, how about instead of bitching at Lamar, how about bitch at the O line and the offensive coordinator? That's the reason why you lost, not Lamar. Hack with the purple tie today. Let's go, Maddie. Let's go, Kraken. Let's go. Open Kraken. Close Kraken. Defend the deep. Raise the logo. Buoy. Clap it out. Let's go, Kraken. Let's go. We will be doing the Kraken on Tuesday. There's only 2 games on then, but we'll figure out what we end up doing tomorrow. Maybe just AFC, NFC, or reaction videos. Maybe tomorrow, and that's it. We'll figure it out. And if I decide to do a hockey stream or Blazers Sixers, we'll put that in the socials. A little screen pass. Debo. George Kittle. ESP, baby. It's like, especially when a guy is that good, it's like, why aren't you giving him the football? Like, George Kittle should be a guy you give the football every quarter. Turnovers are even going to be bigger, too. Everything is magnified in this fourth quarter. Momentum, first and second quarter, Lions. Third quarter, even more momentum than the Lions in the first and second quarter in that third quarter for San Fran. And now we have to find out if San Fran can complete the deal. Your boy knows. Your boy knows. Birdie, Kittle, get him the rock. He's too good not to give the football. I mean, he's got great yak yards. You know what I mean? He can break tackles. So sometimes, instead of like going for the sexy like Juwan Jennings and Debo and Ayuk, fuck those guys. Give it to fucking Kittle and give it to fucking Run CMC. Those are your best players, that are going to be able to give you big moments. Not saying that Debo and Ayuk can't, but if Kittle has been ignored the whole game, he will go off. You don't want to have a guy that's known as a top 4 tight end in the league and you don't even give him any opportunities to help you win. What a game. Second down and 6, baby. Timeout on the field. Uncle Mo, baby. It's real. I wonder if Schrager will say it tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me. He loves stealing shit from this channel. Birdie. First down, Niners. Move the chains. Well, hell, I mean, they're playing zone, and it's very soft, and there's that whole room of the field right in front of you. You'd have to be an idiot not to try to go forward and get yardage. I mean, you are in the NFL. Come on now. Lions getting a little tired on defense. They're starting to hands on the hips a little bit. Momentum has shifted. They need a big play and a big stop. Birdie, get rid of it. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a Lion sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Great play there by the Lions. You got to hold them to a field goal here if you're Detroit. If you're going to get a play, you need a big one right here from this guy. If you need a play, this would be the time to get it. This down and next down. Yeah! 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Nice job. Ninth straight game with 2+ sacks. Great job by Detroit. There you go. Got to wrap him up. Hold him to a field goal. Field goal up. Field goal good. 27-24 Niners. There you go, Detroit. Keep yourself in the game. Defense has to step up at some point. Niners finally with the first lead, huh? Good job, Moody. 27-24 Niners. All right, Lions, your turn, baby. All right, Jared Goff and the Goffense, show me. I mean, if the Lions end up losing this game, that would be like probably the most heartbreaking thing ever. Especially being up 24/7, and then when you weren't able to hang on in the second half. But that's life, and that's sometimes the AFC NFC Championship game. And you need to be able to have a better defense to be able to counteract these runs. But there's still a chance for Detroit to win this. But momentum has shifted very clearly. But at least, obviously we know what the Ravens and Chiefs, not as much excitement in that game. This one's got all the excitement and some. So if you're Jared Goff and the Goffense, you got to make sure you still go to Gibbs and you still go to Montgomery. If you just decide to throw the football to Amon-Ra and Laporta, you're going to lose 100%. You have to keep that same balance, even though there was a fumble and even though there was some fuck-ups. You have to make sure that you're keeping it there. And if you don't trust Gibbs anymore, give it to Montgomery and then give it to Gibbs in the flat and let him do like a reverse or a jet sweep. You have to find other ways to get him involved. And also, we haven't heard from J-Mo since the beginning of the game. So this would be a good time to be able to test, the secondary and go deep with J-Mo, or find like a reverse or a play to get J-Mo back involved since he hasn't been involved since the first quarter. You got to be able to out strategize, that other coach. You got to find ways to be able to get those weaknesses on the team. And again, they don't have any Talanoa Hufanga, right? So you have to understand that they don't have that there. So if they don't have Talanoa Hufanga, why are you afraid to throw deep? What, are you afraid of Ward? Like Ward's going to come up with the big play. Sometimes he does, but he's not like fucking Dion or Darrell Revis or something like that. Go at him. You already got one big play out of Jameson Williams. Why not another? You got to be able to make sure you're utilizing the talent that you have. We'll see if Ben Johnson dials it in. You got to be a good offensive coordinator. You got to utilize your weapons properly at the right time. All right. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Ooh, Next Level Chef. Oh, season premiere tonight? Oh, fuck, I'm watching that. Oh, I love me some Next Level Chef. I love me some Gordon Ramsay. Oh, fuck, I'm watching that. I got to go take Paisley on a long, long walk, but I am definitely watching that. Anything Gordon Ramsay is fire. I love Flavortown. Play action fake. Goff. Hey, it's like me and Ben Johnson are linked, right? I say, hey, maybe go to Jameson Williams. Boom, there he is. That's why I feel like, if I was a part of college or NFL program, I feel like I can call plays just as good as anybody else. You just have to be able to know where you want to go. And if someone hasn't been used, right, use them. We're linked, baby. I see you. There we go. That's exactly where you would want to go. ESP. But also, too, it's like, the amount of football that I've watched is ridiculous. So if you study tape and you watch tape, you can kind of see it before everyone else. Nice job. And then again, if you don't want to go to Gibbs, right, what do? You go to the other. You go to Montgomery. So pretty much everything is, lined up here. You go to someone that hasn't got the ball since the first quarter, J-Mo. If you don't want to give it to Gibbs because he fumbled, then go to the other running back. Go to Montgomery, and that's exactly what they've done so far. Keep the momentum going. $30. Let's get to a hundo. 70 to go. Flea flicker. Check play. Going deep. Dude, I should just be a fucking OC in the NFL. Like, no lie. Like, what are the chances of this saying it and then all of a sudden they go heavy to JMO? Because I feel like, I got an OC brain. You just have to be able to utilize, the weapons and think, what would I do? What would Ben Johnson do? What would I do if we were together on the sideline? What would we dial up? There it is. There was the big play that they could have scored. Almost a touchdown by JMO. But again, it's just knowing football and knowing personnel. You either know personnel or you don't. You don't understand football or you do. That's a tough break right there. But my ESP moments will always happen. I'll usually have at least one or two every stream. But again, if I didn't watch film, then there would be no predictions that were happening. If I didn't read, there would be zero predictions that would be accurate. It's a big part of it too. All right, O-line. You need to step up. It's getting tight now. You have to find a way. What a great game. He's going to have to come up with a big play here in the fourth quarter too. Someone's got to have to save that defense and come up with that big miraculous play. Big sack lunch. 27-24 Niners. Down 24-7, and then you've rifled off 20 straight. I don't think there's that many teams that could have done that. Someone's heart is going to be broken. Let me tell you. Second and 10, shotgun set. Goff. Pressure coming. Throws high for Gibbs. You're like, hello. Top 5 wide receiver alert. Hello. Get him the damn ball. I mean, you got J-Mo the ball, like I said, and then obviously Johnson listened, so I appreciate that. But they didn't get the big play that could have been the big difference maker. But again, don't ever forget that you got a top 5 wide receiver in the league in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Get him the damn ball. But not even close to the first down marker. No, he can't make that. He already missed it from before. Anything that's 48 and up, Moody can't make it. So he already proved that he missed one. What, do you want him to kick it again and have him miss another? For morale? I mean, morale is going to be shitty if you miss the field goal or if you go for it on fourth down and you don't get it, right? But again, that shows you how important a good field goal kicker is. And, they don't obviously believe in it. And honestly, if you would have went for the kick, I don't know if you would have been able to make it. Like I said, 48 and up is beyond his range. All right, Niners. Yeah, Moody missed. All right, Niners, your turn. I'm going to take a look at Badgley's stats here real quick. Let me see what we got. Badgley's long is 41, if that's correct. What was that field goal attempt by if they would have went for it? What was it, 48? Debo. McCaffrey. 27-24 Niners. Let me look to see. What are we at? 20 out of 24. 4 to 4, 18 out of 21. Field goal percentage isn't terrible, but down to McCaffrey. Good defense. But also with the Lions, they like to be able to be a little risky, and obviously, fake punts and, fake kicks and all kinds of crazy stuff with Dan Campbell. But obviously, they have a certain, set range on where they believe Badgley can kick from. Obviously, Moody was the one that missed earlier, but, Moody can only make it from so far. But Badgley probably a little bit more consistent. But again, obviously, they had a little concern there. That might have been too far out of his range. Not every kicker can kick 50 or 60 like J-Tuck. Uh-oh. 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 First down, Niners. Is this game over? Is this game over? Yeah, this is a heartbreaking way to lose if you're the Lions. Yeah. Detroit had better defense. Like I said, defense wins games, defense wins championships, and it's just an amazing first half. I mean, obviously, football games are only 2 quarters, and the Lions are in the Super Bowl, but you can never underestimate the Niners and the Chiefs. These teams never give up, and that's why these are the cream of the crop of the AFC and the NFC, and they have been for a few years, and they will be for the next few years. It's going to take a special performance to be able to beat a team like Kansas City and to beat San Fran. I just can't believe they were down 24-7, and now it's over. Touchdown, Niners. How do you go up 24-7 and then you rip off 27 straight and they don't score anything? Man, that's tough to be a Lions fan. Yeah, I agree. Nice. Kraken. Wendy and Ebbs. Nice. 1-0. It's over. Well, Niner fans were definitely very, very nervous in that first half, but it's not how you start. It's how you finish. Momentum, Uncle Mo. First quarter, second quarter, all Detroit. Third quarter, fourth quarter, all San Fran. And again, what a heartbreaking way to go. But again, you have to be able to stop someone in the second half, and Detroit just doesn't have the personnel. Chiefs Niners, baby, rematch. Will the Niners get revenge and get their Super Bowl win with Kyle Shanahan, or will Patrick Mahomes add another one to his legacy? It might have not been the Ravens and the Niners, but Chiefs Niners is going to be a damn good Super Bowl. Extra point is up, and it's good. Unbelievable. A tale of two halves. They're kind of good. I mean, like I said, there's probably only two teams that would have been able to come back from 24-7 in an AFC NFC championship game, and one of them's playing right here today. And like I said, little mistakes can, end up, leaving that momentum out the door. Even with that Gibbs fumble, like you wouldn't think that this would, compile into one mistake, into another, but that's how it goes. Play calling has to be on point for the whole game. But not only that, you have to be able to get pressure on the quarterback and make key stops. And then the Lions, maybe thought they already won in the first half. We're up 24-7. We're going to the Super Bowl. And if you end up, celebrating a little too early against a team like the Niners or the Chiefs, this is the type of shit that happens sometimes. Sometimes you win. Sometimes the other team comes back and beats you. Yeah, Seahawks can now interview both. I mean, hell, if you end up getting the Lions OC and the Ravens defensive coordinator, I would say that would be a pretty big win for Seattle if you could land both of those guys. Big hit. Everything just going downhill for Detroit now. But again, you have to crawl before you walk, and a lot of times that Cinderella story will end up ending either at the championship game or the game prior to the championship game. There's, obviously, what can you say? You know what I mean? You were up 24-7. I mean, if it was anybody but the Niners, you probably go to the Super Bowl. But if you want to end up getting to the Super Bowl, this is the type of team that you're going to have to get past. Same thing on the AFC side with the Chiefs. It's not going to be easy. Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes, he has that role as villain. And now with the Niners, like I've been saying with Kyle Shanahan and company, this is the team that you're going to have to go through every year if you want to get to the Super Bowl. Every other year, you might get an Eagle team or someone else, but the Niners, are going to be in the mix, based off the way that they run this organization. Goff. Candace in the building. How are you? 34-24. I don't know. We have to look up. They'll probably mention it on the stream, but we have to look up to see what the biggest comeback in AFC or NFC championship game history is. All right, so let's see. Largest blown lead in the NFC title game. The Falcons were the number one seed in the playoffs in 2012, and midway through the second quarter, they were up 17-0, 24-7, same thing. And it looked like they were going to coast to a win over the Niners, but that didn't happen. Niners, and instead the Falcons got shut out 14-0 in the second half. So 17, this is going to tie the biggest as far as the NFC title game. Same amount of points, 17. And then obviously the biggest comeback, Kirk Cousins, record-breaking 33-0 in 2022, and then they came back and won. 39-36 in OT, but that wasn't in a championship game. So, man, bang bang Niner gang, huh? You think it's over? You think it's over? You think it's over? Everyone starts celebrating. We're saying, wow, 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 wow. And then they said, we don't give up. We're going to keep going. But the only way that Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to, get the monkey off his back is if he wins it all, because he's always been able to get to this point, but you never have been able to win it. You had it with Matt Ryan, you had it with Jimmy G. Now you're going to have it with Brock Purdy. At some point, Shanahan is going to win, but we don't know if it's going to be this year. But Chiefs Niners, it's not the Ravens Niners, which everyone thought we were going to get, but Chiefs Niners is still going to be an amazing Super Bowl. That's just tough to be up by 17 and then you score 0 in the second half. 24-7, and then you can't score anything in the second half, and then they put up 34. I mean, I don't know, we talk about momentum and we talk about Uncle Mo. I mean, if that's not Uncle Mo, I don't know what the fuck is. Goff, 20 for 35, 222 yards. Purdy, 20 for 31, 267. Pretty identical, but with a TD and a pick. So, but Purdy didn't have that 4-pick game that everyone thought he was going to have, or 3-pick game. I mean, it's the Lions. Like I said, they don't have the personnel on defense to be able to, hang for 4 quarters against some of the elites. Offense is amazing, but again, Aiden Hutchinson, Branch, CJ Gardner Johnson. I mean, you got a couple guys, Campbell, but you don't got a full team on defense yet. This is like the first year out of a 5-year run. So hopefully they can improve and get better pieces in the secondary, linebacking core, and another pass rusher to help Aiden Hutchinson out. Reported with the catch. Yeah, and obviously they got further than anyone anticipated. But again, when you don't have a defense, defense wins games, right? But defense wins championships. You can still win games offensively, but once you get to the AFC, NFC championship game in the Super Bowl, defense wins the game, defense wins the championship, and whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win the game, O-line and D-line. That's just how it goes. You got to have good play calling as well. I'm on Raw with the catch. Well, since the Lions lost, maybe Eminem will start a beef with someone else, and then we can end up having a new beef, a new rap battle. But it ain't going to be Eminem and E40 though. Wide open. Wow, they're marking him at the 2. What kind of spot is that? Didn't you get a little bit closer than the 2? Yeah, 1.5 yards, not the 2. I guess it is a little bit closer to the 2 than the half. Score, onside kick. Yeah. And go to overtime. Bootleg to his right. Nothing there. And it shows you how important field goal kicks are. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Maybe he would have made it. Maybe he wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, field goal kickers and kickers in general are so important. And you don't realize it at the beginning of the game, but at the end, when you look up at the score, and then there's a lot of coulda, shoulda, woulda moments. Especially with extra points that get missed and field goal kicks. Touchdown, Lions. Extra point is up, and it's good. 34-31. Great game, but it's a little too late. Now you need a fucking miracle. But if you're a Lions fan and you lose, nothing to hang your hat on. So yeah, why kick a three when you can get the touchdown? 34-31. It's not like there's 10 seconds left. You got about a minute. I mean, it's on the college level too, with the Huskies and the Ducks and everything that we watch throughout the year. It's like, they can talk about quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends all day, but you fail to realize how important the O-line is and a good solid punter and kicker are for a team. What a catch. J-Mo, your boy. Your boy knows. 34-30. 34-31, baby. All right, Niners. I know there was rumors that he was going to be Washington's new coach. So does that mean him and Bieniemy are working together? Or does Bieniemy find another job somewhere else? Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel to Seattle. That wouldn't be good. Draft a quarterback, yeah. You could always draft one for Seattle too, though, if he came. It's not like you have to stick with Geno forever. Like you can have him and then draft someone and have insurance. So, but we'll find out. I guess it just depends on what job is more lucrative to him, based off money and the team itself, Washington or Seattle. But even if he goes to Washington and you guys end up with Slowick, it's a win-win still. You still got a couple really good coaches still available. But we'll find out here pretty soon. I do everything. So college football, NFL, wrestling, with like WWE pay-per-views like Royal Rumble that we did yesterday. We do NHL hockey. We've already been doing that since the beginning of the season and last year. And then we'll end up continuing to do NHL. We also will do MLB. I'll sprinkle in a little NASCAR and a little NBA as well as March Madness. So, I mean, we're going to be pretty much doing every sport that's, on fucking planet Earth. There's nothing that we're really not going to do. But a majority of the content after football is over will be NHL and MLB with a little NBA and March Madness sprinkled in and a little NASCAR too. 3-0 Kraken. Let's go. Wow, what a great kick. What a great kick. That's exactly what you wanted. A little bit of a bounce and then a little bit of a touch to like move it in a different direction. If Ben Johnson leaves Detroit, would Bieniemy be the perfect replacement? Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding? If Bieniemy can do it with Patrick Mahomes, and then he doesn't have to worry about Sam Howell, and then they decide to go rebuild the staff there, yeah. I mean, that literally would be like like a godsend for them if that were to happen. Absolutely, that would be a great fit. I mean, shit, Bieniemy made Sam Howell actually look halfway decent on a few games this season. It's not like Sam Howell was great, and he obviously faded really late and played like shit at the end of the year. But there were some games that Sam Howell actually looked like okay. I wouldn't say top 10, but there was games where Sam Howell looked like I don't know, a top 16 quarterback. I think that's fair to say. And he even had some performances where he looked like maybe a top 12 quarterback or top 10 for a game or two, but not for the whole season. And they got rid of a lot of their good players. They're dumping salary and moving pieces around. So amazing, 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 man. It's just 24-7, and then for them to go 27 points. I don't know how often I've seen something like this. And again, this ties the biggest comeback in NFC Championship game history, 17. Not many teams are able to do stuff like this. Make sure you're soaking it in. I really feel bad for the Lions fans, but again, you went a lot further than you were supposed to. You know what I mean? Maybe going to the playoffs and losing, fine. You had a great year. Going to the playoffs and winning a game, great. First time in 30 years, right? And then not only that, but winning 2 games. Sometimes you got to be able to crawl before you walk. And a lot of times that Cinderella story ends in the Super Bowl with a loss or the NFC Championship game with a loss or AFC Championship game. So improve the defense. This is year 1 of 5 of a long run for the Lions. And hopefully this is the last time we see them in the NFC Championship game. Great year. And for the Niners, what can you say? One of the more resilient teams in the NFL, and we saw it here today. And it's not like the Lions made a lot of mistakes. You had the Gibbs fumble, a couple decisions on not going for field goals, but sometimes it's those little decisions that get magnified to the most at the end of the game. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. In this case, the Detroit Lions are like me, and Reflect is like the Niners. Had a chance in the fantasy championship, but the best team and the best man won. So. Shit, man. Super Bowl prediction winner? I don't know. I mean, it's bringing me, like I said, it's either Kyle Shanahan and his legacy and trying to finally get the chip, or Patrick Mahomes is going to add another one and be the modern day Tom Brady that he is. So Tom Brady obviously was a villain. For 20 years, Patrick Mahomes. Now this is going to be the first year that he's going to be considered the villain, and everyone is going to be rooting against him and the Chiefs, unless you're a Chief fan or a supporter. That's just going to be how it goes, because we're just going to see the Chiefs over and over and over and over and over again, where people are going to get irritated of seeing the same team, just like we saw with the Pats with Brady, Gronk, and Belichick. So, but but you're either going to see Mahomes add to his legacy and get more chips to get closer to Brady and that legacy, and cementing his spot as being the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes legacy, Mount Rushmore, or Kyle Shanahan will finally climb the mountain of being the champion, and the Niners will finally be able to celebrate the championship number 6, since obviously he had 4 with Joe Montana and 1 with Steve Young in '94. So it's been a long time since the Niners have won. You say, oh, the Cowboys haven't won since '95. Hell, the Niners haven't won since '94. Yeah, they've been to some Super Bowls and NFC Championship games, but they haven't won. So, what a game. What a season. Shep in the building. What's good? I was wondering when you were going to come in, bro. Love you, bro. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Hey, Brock Purdy might not be your favorite quarterback. Brock Purdy may not be Jimmy G in looks, and he might not be Colin Kaepernick, but he's good enough to get them to the Super Bowl, and then we'll find out if he's good enough to win the Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes. Anytime you got Patrick Mahomes, you already know you're going to have a shot. But again, what a great comeback, tying the biggest comeback in NFC Championship game history, 17 points. You just got home? How are you, bro? My dude. Let everyone know, that you've been going through some tough times. We love you. We appreciate you. And like I said, you got my number. You need to hit me up anytime you can. And like I said, I know when you're a type of person like me, it's like give, 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 and sometimes you feel like when you need help or you need someone, they're not there. Everyone's taking from you. Take, 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 take. Sometimes it's like you need someone to be able to give that support. So I hear you. I've been in that situation too, and you got us, man. Not everyone is going to have the same type of bond than each person, but I got your back, and if you need anything, you let me know. Tough when you end up having situations like that, with people getting sick or people passing or certain situations of family or friends not being around anymore. It's definitely difficult, and I already knew that something was up because I messaged you a few times and you didn't message back, and that never happens. So I already knew that you were eventually were going to message back to me. You know what I mean, when you felt that you could, but you're not alone. And we love you and we appreciate you. And like I told you before, don't worry about the fucking donos and like that. We love you. We appreciate you. You're always going to be able to support us when you can. That's one less thing that you have to worry about, showing up and not donating. Who gives a shit? You'll be able to do it down the road when it suits you, but it's not about that. It's about being able to be somewhere positive for your mental health. And like I said, when things get better for you, and you can donate, you will, but that shouldn't be your priority right now, or even a worry in your mind right now. We would rather have you show up and not donate than to not show up at all. I want to make sure that you're okay. So, final score 34-31. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Anything you want to see photo wise before I go? I mean, I've been already sitting in the chair here for like 7-8 hours, so I need to take Paisley for a walk. I need to be able to eat some dinner and do all that. So, yeah, spring training with the Braves. We'll get to see Kellenick out there scrambling and gambling, doing his thing. The game. You want some Falcons photos? Do you want anything you want to see before I go, bro? And then I'll do a reaction video to both of the games tomorrow because I'm fucking just tired as shit right now. And then I haven't really had a break in 7-8 hours, so I still need to exercise because Paisley comes first, and she's the queen. So I got to make sure I take care of the princess and make sure she's okay. And then we'll do a couple reaction videos tomorrow, and maybe that's all we do. Maybe we end up doing the Blazers and Sixers. There's only one NHL game on tomorrow that I don't really give a shit about. So either two reaction videos to the games and Blazers Sixers, or maybe just two reaction videos, and then we'll do the Kraken on Tuesday. And there's only a couple hockey games on Tuesday because we're getting close to the All-Star break for the NHL as well. So all good. I can show you a little love with some Falcons and some Braves for you. I got you, bro. Yeah, and for me, even though I grew up rooting for the Niners and growing up and rooting for the Lions and everything that they got, just the simple fact that the Lions ended up putting up 34-31 and whatnot. It's like you know Patrick Mahomes and his legacy, and then not having to worry about Sky Moore or Kadarius Toney. The drops are no longer a concern. I would assume the Chiefs are going to be favored in the Super Bowl by 3.5, something like that. And again, they have a a better record when they get to the Super Bowl. They typically win. When the Niners go to the Super Bowl, what do? They typically lose. So until something changes, yeah, I would probably have to say that I'm going to be leaning for the Chiefs. If the Niners win, great. I would love it for Kyle Shanahan. You guys know how much I love him. But again, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, who would you put your money on? Who's going to be more? Who is a guy that is more likely to make a mistake, Purdy or Mahomes? Purdy, right? So, and yeah, the Niners have a good O line and a good defense, but guess what? Chiefs do too. Chiefs offense and defense is good as well. So at this point, I would say I'm going to be, Chiefs. Chiefs are going to be probably the team that most people are going to be leaning on. So Joe Montana, baby. Little Kyle Pitts for you. I got you, bro. You already know. And like I said, I don't give up. I don't give up on my friends, and if people don't respond to me, I don't just turn my head in another direction. I already know when my friends are in a good spot or when they're not. Because usually people don't ignore me, and like I said, I'm going to reach out to only a few people, and we have a connection with about 5 to 10 of us on the channel. But I already knew something was already not right, about a week or two ago. But I figured I would let you explain before me asking, when you're ready to talk about it. And then I knew eventually you would respond. So, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to me and call me or message me. And again, if you end up hopping in the streams a little bit more often, I think it will help you. It's not going to make everything better. It's not going to reverse the wrongs or the things that happen. But at least you know that you got people that actually genuinely care that want to make you feel better. So I got you, bro. Let me throw up a couple Braves photos up here before we dip. Shanahan's whole career is unfinished business. He wants to win the championship like his dad. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to just be me, you know what I mean? But again, we have a bond, and like I told you, of course, likes, subs, donos, shares, all that shit matters for me. But at the end of the day, life is precious, life is short, and like I said, you don't know sometimes when one day someone's there, and then the next day they're not. So you got to make sure that you do appreciate real, genuine friendships to the max. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of fakes out there and a lot of fugazi friendships. But when you got something good, you got to make sure that you cherish that shit. And I got your back, bro. I got you. I got you just like a Spencer Strider mustache. I'm always going to be there, bro. I got you. Just like that. Just like a hair on an upper lip. That's me. I'm there. I got you. He ain't going to the Yankees, and he ain't going to have to shave it. All right. All right. Sounds good. And I got to hit you with an old school one because I know you. Why not hit you with little Chipper Jones? I got you. God, I can't wait for baseball season. Even though the Mariners didn't really do shit, but again, when you're a fan, it's like, football's ending, college football's over. We got Super Bowl, that's going to be over. We got wrestling once a month, and then obviously we're going to be transitioning. I'll still be doing NHL and MLB. NBA will take a back seat until we get to the playoffs. We will cover March Madness a little bit, but definitely a lot of NHL with the Kraken and a lot of baseball. And I'll definitely squeeze in some Braves, Dodgers, Cardinals for some of y'all as well, and Seattle Mariners. You know that. Sam Darnold going to the Super Bowl. He said, "I'm done." Yeah, it's going to be tough. It ain't going to be easy. And like I said, you're going against Patrick Mahomes, and like I said, that's going to be the guy that is going to end up ruining a lot of careers. And like I said, how many people have been able to beat Patrick Mahomes? Someone like me with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but again, it's like if you don't play like that, like Tampa did, and have that type of team, Mahomes is going to win almost every single one, it feels like. So, unless you play perfect and you can make him uncomfortable, like it's like almost you have no chance against the Chiefs. You have to make sure you throw, a couple picks on Mahomes. You got to sack him. You got to get sack lunches. You got to get picks. You got to have him be flustered and uncomfortable. Because if Mahomes just sits back there and dinks and doinks, you're done. No one's going to be able to beat him. So, well, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. It's been a long, long day. Yes, he is. Come through on the screen either tomorrow or the next day if you can. Like I said, I'll probably just do reaction videos to these two games tomorrow morning and then possibly Sixers, Blazers. And if I don't do that, then I'll do Kraken on Tuesday and then obviously some other action throughout the week. But I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And what a fucking comeback. What a fucking game. Unbelievable. Final score San Francisco 49ers 34, Detroit Lions 31. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as all the people in the room. Love you and appreciate you. Keep your head up, Steph. I love you. Reflect, Sarah, Finley, Megan, and everyone else. I love you. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay.